Joe's 40k list building.
It will be. And when
Three good things of everything.
Character on horse, 15 horses.
No,
done
that's not why. That's not why.
And then when I play Brom, I'll switch it up. Character on foot, command squad, 40 handgunners that shoot in his.
No, that's not what AOS is about right now.
Yeah, but it's Brom.
I mean, that's fair.
Brom.
I'll give you that one. I don't want to turn into Joe's fucking list building on AOS. Here's a good unit. Spammed.
Yeah, but that's what I was taught at the academy.
I don't care. They taught you wrong. They taught you how to be a douchebag rather than how to have fun.
Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this fucking grim Thursday here.
I love it.
In England.
It's not boiling hot.
It's disgusting outside. It's pissing down. It's raining. It's horrible. Thank you so much for joining us. We're back at the table because Joe and I have just got hobby bug at the moment.
Yeah.
Like significant hobby bug, need to do more hobby all the time. Yeah. And we're enjoying new AOS so much that we're frantically building, and Joe mostly painting, models to get ready for more armies for AOS or more variety for AOS. Yeah. Because we were like, oh, we've got a couple of armies, it'll be fine. And they were like, actually, this game's really fucking good.
Yeah, we need all people are like, when are you going to play this army? It's like, we don't even have that army.
Yeah, well, we've got an Idnef army coming next week,
yeah,
which is amazing.
And I figured out that we have enough Khorne demons to do Blades of Khorne.
But it is just Khorne demons.
It's just Khorne. But in my garage, I have found a couple of the characters.
That doesn't surprise me.
And from like the Slaughter Priest game, you remember they had the pit with the 4 characters in it?
Yeah.
I seem to only have 2 of them. But I've got those. Ginger Steve posted the wrong stuff to my house. So I've just got a bunch of random, the guys with the hammers on the flails?
Yeah.
But they just turned up one day.
Skull Reapers, whatever they're called.
Because he's been on the siders and they came to the wrong house.
Yeah, okay.
And then Eddie said he's got a bunch.
Yeah.
So I'll get those together, see what I can build and paint out of that. Yeah,
and I've been trying to figure out. There's been I've spent some time over the course of the last few weeks trying to figure out why I am so into AOS at the moment and why I'm enjoying it so much. And I think there's a number of reasons. I think the rule set is better, it's cleaner, it is actually simplified, it isn't simple. So it is one of those things whereby easy to learn, hard to master, which is I think what they were going for 40k, but they kind of failed only because the rules references are in so many different places. And the flavour seems like when you read faction rules for that particular faction, the flavour seems to just work. Like the narrative behind it seems to work. And they've all got cool, unique stuff and cool, unique abilities, and Death have all got wards. And there's just like, I just feel like they've done a good job of making a cool narrative rule set that does cool narrative things. Yeah. Like playing my Sylvaneth again on Tuesday with obviously the trees can heal things and everything regrow. Like there's just so much narrative in there. Now, although we're going to be building AOS models at the moment because that's what we're into right now, what I really want to talk about is the same thing, but in 40k, because it is the Liam and Joe show on Thursday, so we can't just talk about AOS the whole time.
Maybe on Tuesday I can, because I've seen people talking about it already. We could do a list building academy stream.
I don't want to ever call it an academy, Jay.
A joke academy, JOK academy.
Yes, if we could do a cheeky play on words, I'm okay with it. But I don't want to ever call it an actual academy.
Okay. I'll call it what my original plan was spearhead tactics.
Fucking chat's getting excited at the moment. Hang on a minute. First of all, before we get Sean, Jesus Christ, Sean's dick's just grown by another 6 inches, Jay. He's just become an acer.
What a hero!
That's the top level.
I know. He's a hero. I was actually going through some messages that me and Stick Monkey, me and Sean had the other day actually, because he'd basically been messaging because the internet where I live on top of a hill is awful, so he's been advising me on companies that like take good internet, like city internet, and put it in the countryside. And a bunch of posters that are popping up all now around near where I live. So I was like, oh, I need to contact those people.
Thank you, Sean, for coming on AC. You're a fucking legend. Other ways you can support us, you can obviously do the magical like, subscribe nonsense for us. Thank you so much for all those people that have already liked it and all those people that are already subscribed. We went over 33,000, and last night we went over 33,100. So sub growth has kicked in a little bit since we've taken on AOS, which is weird. I've been talking to other creators like, AOS isn't doing very well for us. I was like, it's because you're boring. I didn't actually say that.
The subtext was.
Yeah.
So, like, have you tried being more enthusiastic?
Have you tried just having fun instead? So you can do those things. Thank you so much to all those people that already have, and we're going to go into this angle there. Perfect. But also, you can obviously gift memberships, become a member, and super chat to support the stream. You people that are doing that are amazing. Thank you so much. We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to go through the bits before we then talk about has 40k lost its flavour, or did you want to just?
Because people are going to ask. I'm building boner men today, by the way. Mainly because I was super on the fence about them, and I've gone through the pictures and I'm like, oh, they look a bit rubbish. And then Mikey bought his, and I was like, actually, they're not that bad.
And I was going to do OBR as my Death Army, and I liked the models, and he did a nice paint job, but I didn't like them enough to do them as my Death Army. So you've taken on OC Up Bone Reapers, which means you've got Flesh Eater Courts, Bone Reapers, and
they've got a whole set.
And Soulblight Gravelords.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do Nighthaunt as my Death Army.
Yeah. And then no one else can touch them.
Because I love them.
Yeah. And Liam being Liam already had 75% of an army built.
I added all the points up for what I think I own, and I don't think I've got everything on there.
Yeah. Right? I literally found a cardboard box. I've thrown it on the floor, and I can't bend over at the moment. We'll go into that later. Just full of sprues and broken models, so I'm going to repair them and repair these guys. I've got no heads or.
I dug out my Nighthaunt stuff. I dug out my Nighthaunt stuff on Tuesday after Mikey left.
Yeah.
Finished building the Gash yesterday, and I put it all in the app today of what I think I have, and I don't think I've put all of it in. I think I've missed a few characters and maybe a unit or two, and it came to 3,650 points.
Banging.
I was like, and so in my box here, Joe, I have 50 Chain Rasp Hordes, 50 Chain Rasps, and some of those spirit things. Cool as shit, by the way. And also, I feel like with an airbrush and with contrast, this has got to be the easiest army
I've
in
seen
existence.
some like paint tutorials where they do like the base coat, the pre-highlights, and then just contrast through airbrush over the top, where it looks banging.
So I think if I can pre-shade it all, which I like doing with an airbrush, and then I can put some Hex Wraith colour through it with an airbrush, I think then I just paint the metal bits. The army's playable at that point. It's tabletop, right? Even I can't fuck that up. You guys genuinely like AOS and it shows, so more viewers. I mean, at the moment, our AOS content is pissing all over our 40k content, which is interesting. Not that we'll stop doing 40k on Thursdays, because I still like 40k. And I think, we talked about this briefly yesterday with the new Codex that was announced, the Imperial Agents Codex, which I think is shit, but does add flavour, which is like, it adds cool narrative flavour.
I think the Imperial Agents Codex is a book.
Correct, yep.
Right?
End.
From what Games Workshop has shown off about it, right, I think, and those box sets that they've kind of put out, I think it's probably going to be a real hobbyist army.
Okay.
Like, if you think historically back towards what Inquisition represents within the game as an army, they're always kind of like add-on units, add-on characters and stuff. I think now people can go away and listen to like Guardians of the Throne and Eisenhorn and stuff and be like, I want to make cool inquisitorial warband stuff.
So this is what I'm saying. Narratively flavour, really cool.
Yeah.
Right? But actual competitive play, not so great. And this is where I'm like, because a lot of stuff that's come out on YouTube and stuff recently, and this is part of the discussion, is like, the book sounds like it's going to be terrible, it's going to be really bad, this is going to be really shit, I can't kill anything. I'm like, has competitive tournament 40k ruined our perception of a codex when it comes out? Because what we do is we compare it to the latest incredibly powerful book, a la Sisters or Orcs or Eldar on Index release. We go, this isn't as good as this, therefore it's bad.
Yeah.
Is it bad? From a competitive gaming perspective, probably going to be bad.
Yeah.
From a fun narrative, be able to build something super thematic perspective. I said to them last night, if you're a guard player and you've got 2,000 points of guard, you could buy this extra book. You could take 2 retinue units, 2 characters, and 1 requisition unit. Your guard can now add a Deathwatch kill team, an Inquisitor, and 5 Grey Knight Terminators and be perfectly legal as a force.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit. That's cool as shit, isn't it?
That's amazing, yeah.
I think that's fucking amazing. And they might not be very good, but from a flavour perspective, it's incredible.
Yeah. Luton's popping off.
Yeah. So that's in reference to me saying, has competitive 40k skewed our opinion of codexes when they come out? And I think it has.
Yeah.
I
think the Codex is going to really ignite some people's building and painting.
I'm all here for more narrative kind of lists and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm all about that.
And the thing I always remember about the good model of Cotiers, right, and the Inquisition, the game in general, is back in 5th, 6th edition, when there was a real push on like inquisitorial stormtroopers and like the red and black and stuff. That was banging. And I remember Sisters of Battle were basically just a white dwarf PDF.
Yeah.
That was a great time for witch hunters because you could just do cool armor.
Do you remember the old Demon Hunters Codex?
I've got it at home.
I'm sure you have. I'm not
I
surprised.
love that book. Right, anyway, we'll do the super chat stuff and then we'll continue because there's a super chat that I saw that I want to answer.
Okay, cool. Sounds
So thank you, Brandon Lagasse.
good. Mr. Brandon, thank you so much
For
for 5 gifted.
Yeah, he paid the tax.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you wish for him?
I wish that someone gives you
Herpes.
a hand job.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
A good one.
And if you're married, I hope it's at least your wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or not. I don't know
A
how
handsome
happily married you
stranger,
are.
you know?
A handsome stranger, yeah.
Yeah. That your wife consents to, obviously. If you don't have a wife, go mad.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure she'd consent to it, mate, to be honest with you.
What if she's got
Or
like,
husband, for that matter.
What if she's got her hands in bandages from like a light scalding, so she can't do it?
I've never shouted at any one of these women so much that they get like...
Thank you, Rufus. Says good day. Well, cunts, but we're past the 30-second mark. We won't get
I mean, it's got to a point now where if we say that word in general, it demonetises us.
really?
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
It's fine. Look,
Australian YouTubers must make no money.
Look, I was literally talking to Mikey about this yesterday before he left, before he drove back up to the land of the unwashed. And I said, like, we were talking about revenue and stuff like that then, and I was like, he was like, you do more pre-recorded videos, you do more. I was like, yeah, I mean, we do. From a YouTube growth perspective, my partner manager has directly told me the channel will struggle to grow if you don't make pre-recorded content. So I'm fully aware that the way I increase subscriber growth, etc., viewer growth, etc., is with pre-recorded content. I just don't like pre-recorded content. I like live, and that's why we try and do 6 to 7 live streams every single week, because I prefer live. And I have to do that many live streams to try and counteract the fact that I'm not doing any pre-recorded to get some kind of growth. That being said, I said to him, you always have to remember from a revenue perspective, numbers don't lie, Joe, right?
No.
1.7% of our revenue is ad revenue.
Yeah.
1.7%. So when you say cunts and they demonetize my ads, I don't care.
Yeah.
He also didn't say that. He said see nuts if you read it properly.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm not going to dance around it. We were Australians here. I didn't want to upset them.
I fucking love the Aussies. But yeah, so I'm like, I said to Mike.
Okay, here's coming again. I said, I didn't say that, Joe. Yeah. Lol. I know, I filled in the gap.
But it doesn't.
One repaired horse.
Hang on. I can tell you accurately, Joe, right now.
Yeah.
Right, of the 150 quid a month that we make, of the of the money that we make, here we go. Right, watch paged ads, 1.6% of our revenue.
Yeah.
Shorts feed ads, 0.1% of our revenue.
Yeah.
Supers, 30 super chats, super stickers, super thanks, all that kind of stuff. 13.9% of our revenue. Memberships, including gifted, 84.4% of our revenue.
That's how important members are to us. The more big members that we receive, the better.
That's why when we put these streams up on demand after the stream's finished, I don't put any mid-roll ads on it. Members is all we care about. Throbbing, massive, giant members.
Yeah, just sausages.
In and around my face.
Yeah. Thank you, Crumpets Panda.
Basically, don't worry about saying that word, Joe. I don't care.
All right then.
Yeah. Thank you, Crumpets Panda. What
But
for?
some people are like, oh, he said a bad word.
Don't care. Fuck them. They
And
can
then
go
they
watch
write
someone
to
else.
Ofcom.
Yeah, cool. They can go watch someone else.
It says, Grossman says, books like Chaos Space Marine made me hopeful, but the news around Agents of the Imperium worry me. There's things I want to say that we're not allowed to say.
Yeah. So don't say them. You can't.
I want to be reassuring. Be reassured.
I don't think you can.
I'm not allowed to say the word reassuring.
I mean, you can say reassuring, but
Yeah, be reassured. It's not all doom and gloom, all right?
Well, we have difference of opinions. My glue's dried up in the hole.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have to wait for it to come through.
Yeah.
The Chaos book, I think, did a real good job of narrative.
Oh, the Chaos Basement book is, it's not strong, it's not broken, it's just good. And the detachments did a great job of representing the things that they're there to represent. The problem is, in the state of the game currently, we had a discussion in our group chat this morning, is that competitive gamers tend to be woefully, what did I use? What did I use?
Lonely.
Unimaginative.
Oh, not lonely.
Yeah, sticky. Yeah, leave a crust everywhere they go.
Exactly.
Is that like competitive play? Is someone does a good
I want
army?
5 guys today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about food?
I mean, it's Empress Road, Joe.
It is true. Yeah. What was I going? Yeah. So basically, the competitive games are someone does a good thing, everyone copy that. Done. You know. Sometimes I'm not saying I'm not tarring everyone the same brush. There are people that go, everyone's doing this one thing, I'm going to do the opposite. You know, new Thane alert.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're well excited, Rolfus.
It's because he gets to hear you say that word more often in the Only Thanes.
Yeah, normally directed
Rolfus,
at
thank you
members
so much.
of-
A Thane and Ace are in the same stream.
I know. Thanks, Rolfus, you big dick.
You big dick bastard.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the Ages of the Imperium book because, like, the game is still good in its current iteration. There are issues around the game currently. You're right, dear.
No, the tip's glued. I don't have a lighter here.
Oh.
I'll just leave it like that, and eventually it'll melt itself through.
Will it?
Probably.
Maybe.
Rolfus, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you,
on.
Rolfus. Go and join the WhatsApp group. It's mainly just Kaz talking to himself. But
Cass, not Kaz. Don't get them
Kaz.
confused again. He got very upset last time.
it's literally 2 letters that sound the same.
Castellan, Kazarian, 2 different people. Yours is the
Kasabian.
same. What? Yours has done the same.
Yeah.
Oh.
I suck mine a lot more than yours. So.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, go in there and be welcomed.
Is that how you got your hernia?
Yeah, too much stretching. Don't worry, Crumpets Panda, it's going to be fine. Thank you, Jill. Says Joe Academy, it's what the people deserve. I think I could do a joke.
They might not want it, but that's what they deserve.
Yeah, that's what you're getting. Clothing optional. Yeah, I think maybe like part of the Tuesday build stream is also part of a Joe Academy.
What I want to do...
Every week I can talk about a different aspect of the game.
I want to do learn to play stuff for AOS. But I want to do a good job of it rather than just sell you any old shit and hope people buy it. Like, I saw part of a course that was like, here's how you do the charge phase. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, so what you're saying to me is just read the fucking rule book. Because that wasn't complicated. So I'd like to do some learn to play stuff, but I'd like to do a good job of it.
Yeah?
Would the Tamiya unblock the Revel? Probably. It will unblock itself eventually, but I want to start building shit now, so I'm just being impatient. I need to bring a lighter into the studio. So
burn it down.
If you have a lighter, by the way, if you get these Tamiya needles, if you give a lighter and just go psh at the end, you'll hear a little pop and then it'll all come out.
Yeah. Could
It'll
do
be
the
fine.
same on the glue as well.
It'll be fine. True, Joe. True.
Yes, Jill. We will do some. We will do something. We have spoken about it.
Oh, I haven't told you about this, by the way, as well.
Oh, I like hearing about things new.
You're not gonna, yeah. So I've been speaking to Jill and Gaz
Yeah.
separately. Jill doesn't know this, but they're going to be put into a little group together soon. We're going to be doing an AOS Spearhead boot camp, and we're going to run it here.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to set some tables up downstairs because I've got the keys for downstairs, despite the fact I'm not allowed to go in there yet.
Yeah.
We'll set some tables up downstairs for gaming. We'll use the studio as a social space.
Yeah.
We're going to invite Thanes
Yeah.
to buy a ticket. They'll arrive on the Friday. Part of their ticket will include their new Spearhead box.
Nice.
And over the course of the weekend, we'll be teaching them AOS Spearhead whilst they get to build, play, paint in whatever order they want, whenever they want.
Yeah.
It's like a hobby weekend.
Yeah.
A hobby weekend retreat.
Will they get to choose their spearhead? Or
Yeah, they can choose their spearhead. At the point at which we sell the tickets, they'll pick their spearheads.
Yeah.
And then we'll buy them all from !Element.
Yeah.
The only issue will be is they don't have a spearhead in stock for ages, and I might have to be like last minute, like, is there any chance you can change, or I'll get it from somewhere else? I'm sure I'll get it from somewhere. But yeah, sounds like fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd love it. I'd love to do like a cool.
Well, that's good because I was kind of hoping you'd want to be here for that weekend. We haven't got a date yet, though, by the way.
Yeah, can we arrange it on a weekend that I don't have my child?
Of course, yeah, we can deconflict. Because I think me and you teaching it, because no one else on the team knows the game yet, me and you teaching it. Although Paddy went away on Tuesday really wanting to learn.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, he's already got 2,000 point army ready to go.
He has, yeah.
Yeah, Paddy was like, I don't do AOS. Now he's got a fully paid army, so...
Yeah, I mean,
he was here on Monday.
For clarity, he hasn't painted it.
He was like, I've got a Tzeentch Demon army. I've looked at the rules. It fits in 2,000 points. Done.
Yeah, job's a good one.
So he's going to come here and learn. And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, if it goes really well, we could do AOS Spearhead boot camps here.
We could also do 40k ones in the future.
I like the idea of it being random. Just like, we get, say we do 20 tickets, right?
Yeah.
We just get 20. We go to Element, give us 20, obviously, as much variation as possible. We wrap them all, and then people just pick it at random.
So I'm happy to. I'm going to give people the option for random draw, right? And it'll just be a box. You pick it up, you grab the box. I think the old ones that used to be done by Beasts of War were all random. But what I want to do for the first one with Thanes specifically is be like, you can choose your spearhead if you want to.
Yeah, we'll let them bring a spearhead that they already own.
So we'll wrap a bunch. No. Well, I mean, they can if it's completely unbuilt, they can. But then we need to make sure the ticket price reflected the fact they're bringing those. But you know, there's things we have to think about. But use a needle or a lighter. I don't have a needle or a lighter. That's the problem. Otherwise, I just use the lighter normally, Warjoy. But thanks, dude. Anyway.
Yeah.
How do I do this WhatsApp thingy? There's a link to WhatsApp in the Thanes now. In the Thanes Discord, now you're a Thane, you'll see that link. If you download the WhatsApp app and create yourself an account, and then you click on the link in Discord, and it will chuck you into the group automatically. All right,
Tight.
What a fucking legend.
Yeah. Thank you, Lima Russ says, for shits and giggles, I had signed up for the academy, and I must admit, it's been a wasted money.
Thanks for confirming what we already knew.
Yeah.
Love you, Lehman.
Can you get a refund though?
Lehman Russ is a good guy.
He's a good egg.
He's one of the good guys.
Yeah.
He's been around for ages. Been around since the start. I mean, since I started.
Since the dawn of time.
Basically. Since the dawn of time.
You've managed to snap this banner in a really annoying, awkward place.
I didn't snap it.
I could.
The other things in the box snapped it.
It should be all right. Can't be bothered to go and pin it. Thank you, Crumpets Panda, for 5 gifted memberships. I hope, Crumpets Panda, that you, for your next birthday, are given a day of feeding pandas at the zoo.
Rolfus, DM me on Discord, bud. You got a day of feeding pandas on the zoo?
Yeah, like red pandas, black and white pandas, just pandas. Did you hear about that panda in China that they rescued because it was really poor, right? And it lived in a zoo. Wow.
That's a picture of you in Thanes. You look very different there, Joe.
Yeah?
Very different. I've worked out what the difference is.
What? My hair?
Your forehead's grown 2 inches.
Yeah, it's disappearing. What I need to do is cut all my hair off and start kind of going forwards instead. There's a panda.
Sorry, carry on.
A panda at the zoo that after they'd rehabilitated and fixed it, they put it back, and it just kept on coming back. And no matter how far away they took it away from the city or civilization, it would just travel to the nearest village and just go and move itself into people's houses.
All right.
I feel like that panda. Sometimes I'd be that panda. I was like, I've seen what real food looks like. I know what a bed looks like.
You're my panda.
I know. So, yeah.
I'm trying to find Rolfus.
Always present him. And obviously Stick Monkey became an Acer, and then Jaffe Barra became a Jarl, all on his own. Hero. Could you imagine if there was a capybara that tasted of Jaffa?
A Jaffa cake capybara?
Yeah, everyone would just be licking it all the time.
Yeah, that would be the problem.
Thank you, Rolfus. It says, I hope Joe finds a monster drink he can enjoy without being bullied for drinking it. So I found a new drink.
The problem is, Rolfus, is Monster is an awful, awful product, which is just bad for your health.
So I found a new product that you can't complain about.
I bet I can.
It's called Liquid Death.
I mean, it doesn't sound
right,
great.
And it's canned, monster-sized cans of flavoured water.
Oh, that sounds all right.
Yeah, and they're a company that was started by a guy who basically was tired of basically being the kind of, what's the driver, when they go on nights out?
Desi driver?
The designated driver, and having to drink these little drinks. He wanted to drink like big cans of stuff. So he started a company called Liquid Death where he drinks cans of water that look like beer cans.
What's in it though?
Water.
But it's flavoured water, right?
Hang on. To the phone! Not the hub. Right. Liquid
Not that hub again.
death. Liquid death water. Oh, it's asking. Google's asking me if I'm human.
Is this going to take over your monster?
It might do.
Frank Lewis says, flavoured water that has caffeine?
Hilariously, Liquid Death, as sponsored by The Deep.
Amazing.
From the boys.
Boys.
Death to Plaster. Obviously, all their stuff comes in cans, so they don't use stuff. They're
stuff.
They're sponsored by Joe Manganiello,
Who?
big D&D player, actor.
Oh, he was in Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory, yeah.
As himself.
As himself. Well, no, he was.
He was Joe Manganiello. He was Joe Manganiello.
He was Joe
Big Bang
Manganiello.
Theory, yeah. He was himself.
Flavored water. I need to. I can't. Why is the internet? No interneting. Oh, it's because I'm not on Wi-Fi.
Why are you on Wi-Fi? Is that because you didn't want to get caught with what you were looking at earlier?
Well, no, because I took for some reason.
On company Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Did you hear about that company that's agreed to delete all of the data that's been collected from incognito mode?
Google?
Yeah.
Google's the company, Joe.
Yeah. Okay, well, the website's not loading, but basically, look it up. Liquid Death. It's just canned water. It's great.
This is the broken one, isn't it?
Yeah, but I found that new flavour, the strawberry, ultra strawberry. It was banging. The new monster flavour.
Which makes me sad because I like strawberry, and I do know for a fact that although Monster is a devil's drink, they make incredible flavours.
Yeah. And you walk around going, baby, what's your flavour?
Yeah.
Baby, what's
But it's
your
just too full
flavour?
of shit. It's very bad for you.
Is it?
Yes.
But my body, I'll say it. No, I can't say that.
Go on, what are you going to say, Jay?
So my body is a temple and an embodiment of health.
Yep.
Yeah.
How did your doctor's appointment go? I
It's so great. I've got a hernia. I am with hernia. I am with child.
Yeah. Really good, that embodiment of health, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it came from trying to be healthy, so I feel like I'm the one that's been done over here. Right. Second fixed horse.
If 40k was a flavour of Monster, what Monster flavour would it be?
40k.
Yeah.
The green flavour. The bog standard.
The neon chemical
the one that
shit.
turns you piss green.
If AOS was a flavour, what flavour would it be?
Ooh. Mango Loco.
The best flavour?
The best flavour.
Is strawberry better or worse than Mango Loco?
So the issue is now, because I've been drinking sugar-free Monster for so long, I've had one, maybe two full sugar Monsters since Christmas, and it hurts my teeth now. Mango Loco is the best flavour, but I think I have to dilute it in like lemonade or something. Just knock back the sugar a bit.
Yeah. So
like sugar-free lemonade, 50-50 it. But no, Mango Loco is the best flavour. Although I'm floating around a lot of flavours at the moment. I just like all of it. All the sugar-free ones is great.
So do you think 40k's lost flavour, Joe?
Yes.
Okay.
So 40k is losing its flavour. Not, but I feel like because the game currently is being designed by competitive 40k players for competitive 40k players, inherently you're going to lose flavour because flavour isn't balanced, right? People just want efficiency. That's what they look at, right? So if you want flavour in your army, if you want flavour in your Space Marines, you have to force the flavour in. You have to go to Flavour Town.
I think it's easier if you're a Dark Angels player, for example.
Yeah. But if you're a Raven Guard player, right? Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
You realistically can't make a good narrative army because I tried it and it's shit.
And people told you off for it, didn't they?
Yeah. But like, so you can end up making a narrative army, but you either get punished for it or you have to work really, really hard to balance the narrative and what actually works.
Yeah.
it's like Necrons. Necrons are an army that's kind of lost a lot of its flavour by the fact of people just go, this is what's best, run for Catan. Catan is super fucking rare.
What do you think? I personally have an opinion that there's a few things that have meant to some loss of flavour in 40k. But I'm interested to see what you, because I think this is the first time that we have, for a long, long time, we've covered, on the channel, we've covered 7th edition, 8th edition and 10th edition. And this is probably the first time I think that we've gone, yeah, we think it's lost some flavour. So what do you think's led to that feeling, at least? Even if it's not necessarily completely true, if you feel like it's lost flavour, what do you think's led to that feeling?
I feel like army composition.
Yes, I agree.
Has done the most damage.
I completely agree.
Um,
and by composition, you mean be able to take whatever the fuck you want, basically.
Yeah, by taking away... I don't want 40k to become AOS. I don't want AOS to become 40k. But every game, bar 40k, has army building stipulations in it. Right? If you look at new AOS now, you take detachments, much like you have throughout 40k, but your detachment is a character and 1 to 4 units, and then a character and 1 to 4 units. You can...
1 to 3 unless it's your
1 to 3 unless it's your warlord. So you can bring auxiliary units and just drop them down, but then you're almost punished in a way because your opponent gets benefits.
Yep.
Right? Because they've stuck to the army composition rule and you haven't.
So hey, you can do what you want, but there's a downside.
Yeah. You look at Old World. Each part of your army has a maximum point spend apart from your core, which has a minimum point spend.
Which I do love, but that is for me personally, that is absolutely too complicated. When it was, we're playing 2,500 points and you can have 13.7% as a hero, like, it's not quite that.
But
ridiculous.
So now it's like your minimum point spend on your core must be 500 points. So a quarter of your army must be core infantry.
Which, in seriousness, you could do that by simply reintroducing your combined arms attachment or something akin to combined arms attachment. And I feel like, do you think with the Prior Nexus mission pack, this is genuine questions, but I like doing this on stream at the moment because this is a genuine questions that I haven't asked him before. Do you think with the Prior Nexus mission pack, the minimal, but it's there, the minimal kind of referencing to battle line can do this and battle line can do that. Do you think that was an attempt to go, oh, we kind of fucked up here? How do we encourage people to actually take troops?
It was an attempt which failed miserably.
No, and I agree.
But it was like we're going to try and make armies look like armies, but we're not going to say that we cocked up.
Yeah.
But we're not going to say that we set the house on fire, but the house is definitely on fire. I've opened this box just so I can get a head out.
Do they have spare heads?
They do have spare heads.
They're cool, the Death Riders, aren't they?
The Death Riders. I like cavalry in general. Nothing gets me more. Nothing gets me more keyed up and emotional or aroused than a full cavalry.
Oh, that
charge.
one's not working. Look. Why is that one not working?
Because it's not turned on.
It is turned on.
So.
Because I've focused it.
Yeah. So. What they should have done is they should have gone, you must take a minimum amount of units. That's what they should have put in, but they didn't. And I feel like it really caused a lot of problems for gamers because every army I build now, I don't even bother putting battle line in because the most amount of points you'll score is like 5 by having it. And the benefits of having battle line that fall back and do actions is minimal because the armies I play, the battle line, are trash. And your opponent goes, well, in this mission, you've quite clearly bought loads and loads. It's probably the cable in the side which keeps on clogging up. They go, this unit can fall back and do an action, or this unit can advance and charge and do an action, or whatever. So if your opponent goes, oh, well, your army is made mainly of cheap battle line units, I'm just going to murder them all because they've all got terrible saves and they die really quickly. Even intercessors die really quickly. Like a two wound toughness 4 3-up armor save unit in this game is about as efficient as a 1 wound 5-up save model, because everything in the game is strength 5, strength 6, -2, -3, 1 to 2 damage. So 2 wounds is negligible nowadays. Oh, I'm really out of focus.
You're not. They can't see that. When I'm dicking around, I
Yeah.
press a button, which means that whilst I'm dicking around, they can't see anything I'm doing, Joe.
Oh,
It's
he's dicking around people.
The magic of internet.
Yeah.
The magic of production.
So, yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of work they need to do to fix the game. More of these guys are missing heads than I originally counted.
There'll be heads somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably.
On the floor.
Up the Hoover.
In the, yeah. Bases everywhere.
So I'm inclined to agree with you that army composition is part of the reason. But I also think that it goes in slightly deeper than just you should have taken a combined arms attachment.
Yeah.
Because like I keep seesawing on this particular point. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But it used to be the case that your army's blue, here's your Ultramarines attachment because you like Ultramarines.
Yeah.
And I fully understand but that's not how I want my Ultramarines to play. That's not how my Ultramarines fit that narrative. That's not, I get that, I do get that. And we used to see a lot of custom chapters. We used to get a lot of custom chapters.
Yeah.
But so people could kind of pick and choose whatever was the best one at the time.
Yeah.
Which again, I think comes down to the mindset of the competitive
But
player.
the thing is, though, you end up with a lot of custom chapters, but you also ended up with a lot of people running unique, flavourful armies. Instead of going, some people are like, here's my red army.
But did
It's
you?
just supposed to be painted red.
Did you, or did you just see people go, well, this is currently the best because this is what Manny and fucking Siegler and that lot are taking?
Yeah. But then
You did so like when someone won a fucking major event in the US with custom craft world that had expert craft world or whatever the fuck they were called at the time. Suddenly, every single time I went to an event, like even a local one like Factorum, what's craft world? Custom. What's your custom traits? This one and this one. Cool. Okay.
But some people put the effort in their armies, which they don't do now. Because people are like, I don't care, I'll run Ultramarines, I'll just take it wherever I want. But like at the time, you saw like a lot of Exorcists, you saw a lot of Emperor Spears, you saw a lot of Minotaurs, you saw a lot of Red Scorpions, you saw like a lot more choice and different like
Where I'm
different
going with
styles,
it is,
basically.
though, but where I'm going with it is the issue the game or is the issue potentially the players? Do you see what I mean?
Well,
Like,
this
that's where I'm going
is
with
the
it.
conversation that we had the other week where I accept I was part of the problem.
You've just used past tense there, Jay. That's interesting. Carry on.
I was in a previous employment where the game kind of pushed more towards a competitive mindset, where a lot of people nowadays they care more about winning than they do about enjoying the game.
Yeah.
And now, some people derive, I can only have fun if I am winning.
Yeah.
If I'm losing, I'm not having fun.
Yeah, I want to play a cool narrative, even at a tournament or an event.
Yeah.
I want to go and play a cool narrative game.
Well, it's like Mikey thought I was mental when we ate lunch, and I was like, there will be times when I'm at a tournament where I'll get seize the centre. I've had it before. Gabriel Seths with his unit in the middle of the table, seizing the centre, and I'll just run off it and fight something, because that's not what Gabriel Seth cares about. Gabriel Seth doesn't care. And people, I've done it before at events, and they're like, "You're mental. Why you've lost 5 points?" I was like, "I don't care because
I've done that
because that's not what I'm here to do."
I did that at no retreat.
Yeah.
I played a German guy called Henny, fucking lovely dude with his Dark Angels, and I was running World Eaters, because when I go to a tournament, I typically take World Eaters. And it was walk with Khan, walk back onto that objective and score some points, or charge this fucking Dark Angels Dreadnought or something.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm charging the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
He's like, but you won't get points. He's Khan the Betrayer.
Yeah.
Khan the Betrayer is not going to walk back to an objective. He's going to go and
Well,
charge the
I
Dreadnought.
also feel like the mission pack doesn't help as well, because there was a time, I feel like the best competitive time was before Games Workshop got involved in competitive play.
Agree.
When we were doing the ITC mission pack. And the ITC mission pack was hold more, hold one, hold more, kill one, kill more.
Every game.
Every game,
Yep.
right? Which was the primary. And then there were missions like go hold X amount of objectives at the end of the game. But then your secondaries you picked, and there was 50 secondaries that you could pick from. It's like a massive tick sheet that you could choose from, and it was great. Whereas now it's hold more, hold more, and then 1 or 2 secondaries might be like a killer thing.
Which is then exacerbated by a bunch of the secondaries also saying action, action,
Yeah.
action, action.
So armies that are inherently close combat based have a lot of issues. Because an army that's lots of shooting goes and stands somewhere and shoots things, right? And if it's on an objective, it can still shoot at stuff. It can still be effective. Whereas a close combat unit with sticks, right, once it's on an objective, isn't efficient if no one's coming to it.
Well, also, I think this also then comes back to your list composition. Because when you have to contemplate doing actions by terrain features and doing actions that will last and doing actions over in the corner and doing this, like when you have to contemplate doing actions, or the action, for me, one of the worst things that's been brought into 40k over the course of the last 2 editions is actions. And I don't think you need them. And Mikey said, well, yeah, but actions are good for variety, and I'm inclined to disagree, because the best variety we ever had was Maelstrom of War. There wasn't a single action in that.
That's true.
Not a single action in that one at all. And if we look at even AOS doesn't have actions. Okay, seize the centre requires you to have 2 units within 3 inches of the centre that are not in combat.
Yeah.
But they don't stand there and not shoot, not charge, not fight. You can look at a unit in the centre, you can charge on. Mikey achieved seize the centre on Tuesday by charging Deathwatch on the centre, killing him, and at the end of the turn, he had units within 3 inches, not on the objective. Not a single one of these units just stood there and did nothing. There was a single one.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, one of the big differences with 40k. And I think, again, it comes back to a list composition issue, though, right?
Yeah.
Because then you have to go, well, I need to take things that can do actions. Yeah. I need to take things that can do actions, otherwise I can't score half of the secondary points.
Yeah.
And actions are fucking boring and for virgins.
Fact.
Them's the facts, chap.
So that's. I feel like how you build your army is also killing the game in a way. So like when we do build armies here and we think about missions and stuff, like me and Brom are going to have a slightly different style mission tonight with specifically built armies. Like it will still might be competitive, but we're still going to have fun. We're still going to do stuff. And I feel like we haven't had this conversation yet, but like when we do open downstairs, I would like to run quarterly, once every other month, a narrative style event, right?
I'm here for it.
Not a tournament, just an event.
Event.
Yeah. So I like it might.
I'm here for it, Joe. 100%.
It might not even be. There might be an overarching narrative, but the games might not be linked. And it's just a case of come here. Here's 20 tables. They're all laid out differently. You can end up on a random one, but the missions will be fixed for each table, and you need to be ready for that. You know, I might ask people to bring an additional, or they need to be able to make a 1,000-point infantry-only army because they've got to fight inside a space hulk or something.
Yeah.
You know, and there will be no prize for winner. There will be a prize for the best faction, the best general, the best army, the best painted unit. You know, the best player, as it voted by the people that have played them, said this person was a sportsman. He was kind. She was kind. She was a sportsman.
I also want to. This is a bigger challenge for us, but I also want to have a narrative event where things have meaningful consequence.
Yeah,
because I think to tell a true narrative, there's a narrative event and then there's narrative events, right?
Yeah.
There's a narrative event when you turn up to a weekend, you play 5 games, and in between each game, someone stands up on a chair and spouts some bollocks narrative about what's going on.
I've been to one of yours today.
And it is a narrative, but it is a narrative event, and people will typically bring more fluffy lists, and people that will bring more flavourful stuff, right? Cool. And then there's a narrative event where things have consequence. Your characters, once they get killed, are dead. Yeah. And you perhaps look to play 2,000 points over the course of the weekend, but you're actually bringing 4,000 points with you because you're like, well, actually, at this point, we're deploying to a spaceship. We don't need our tanks because they can't drive down the corridors of a spaceship, right? And that's the kind of narrative event I'd like to run.
And I'd like to do events where I know these done by I can't remember their name. I'll think about who it is that does the events. But like when you register to go to an event, obviously the table's split into Loyalist, Chaos, and Xenos. And then when you sign up, you buy your ticket. That allows you to pick one named character for your army that you can bring. And that means that no one else can bring that named character. But you're only allowed to bring one.
Cool, I'm into it.
So it means that a Death Guard player coming can't go, I've got Typhus and Mortarion. To all the other Death Guard. So if 2 Death Guard players, one can bring one can bring the other, you know? And So it means that not every table has got Abaddon. Not every table has got the lion, you know? There's only one lion.
Do you remember
here.
that GT at Factorum after Abaddon came out and he was fucking broken last edition?
Yeah, that really annoyed me. That event.
19 Chaos players and 18 Abaddons.
So that's the kind of event I want to do, where like we're all just playing for the joy of the hobby. You know?
And at the end of the weekend, like you say, no one's won, but you all feel like you've had a go. You all feel like you've had an impact.
But what I do want to do, right? And one thing that I've never understood why, and this I'd like to change, is that Xenos. I feel sorry for Xenos players because all the Xenos players all get lumped in together.
Yeah.
Right? Where Tyranids are very separate to Eldar. Right? So I like the idea of having. So you've got the Xenos factions, but the Xenos factions are a group, but they're also split individually. So like Eldar, they'd have like a specific goal over the weekend and no one really knows what their goal is. Like their job might be at the start of the weekend to pick a Chaos or Imperium side. And they want to influence the winner and the loser of those things. So that's like their secret mission. Tyranids just eat
So they're affecting fate.
Yeah, they're affecting the fate of things. Orcs are here to pick a fight, so they might be collecting scrap to build like a super spaceship or something, you know? And they have to keep a tally of all the vehicles they destroy. You know, just stuff like that. So it means that the Xenos people aren't like, just come kill stuff.
We're building an event space where Joe can make this shit happen.
Yeah.
This is his mind.
And if you do bad, I'll shit on the table that you're playing on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When people are going to start asking you to do loads of crowdfunding to support their silly business ideas, keep this in the back of your mind. This is coming.
Yeah. So I just need Liam to fund my ideas.
We're trying, Joe.
Yeah.
We're trying. We're trying, mate. We'll get there.
But it also means that like when you do these events, like as it says, no overall winner is a plus. You know, it's not like a case of everyone's getting a participation award.
And you can have people that win things.
Yeah.
Like you can have awards. Like I would like the strongest awards for the weekend to be for the most sporting player, and the strongest award to be for the most narrative list.
Yeah, but there could be like other things.
The coolest theme.
Like if you're a Chaos player or a Black Templars player, you could be competing for an award for who kills the most characters in combat.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like.
And sometimes you keep those awards as a business. We keep those awards secret.
Yeah.
So they don't know until the end of the weekend. And like Slayer of Tyrants, there's your reward.
Yeah.
You've killed the most characters.
Yeah. So I think that
I love it.
Stuff like that. So when people leave, they go, "I've had a great time. I can't wait for the next one."
Yeah.
Not a case of you go to a 40k tournament. Oh, I went 3-2. 2 of my games were really horrible. I'm really excited to go to another tournament, but all I'm doing is just chasing to get that win.
Yeah.
They're not going, oh, I really had a great time, it was wonderful.
So,
no, if you scream Warg, Voodoo Fairy, I will throat punch you.
So
that's your reward.
So if you, although we've gone off topic here, I think it's relevant. So I think with what you've just said, this is a twofold problem. I think first of all, it's the mission pack.
Yeah.
Then, so we've already touched on list building and list composition. We now think that we can layer in that part of it's the mission pack as an issue.
Yeah.
And the other part of it, arguably, is player mindset.
Yeah.
And player mindset won't have been helped by list composition and mission pack.
No.
So do we think that the lack of flavour that you're personally feeling, Joe, from 40k is multifaceted and it's not actually just one thing? There's a number of little things that add into making it a big thing.
Yeah, like children.
Okay.
Just little things. How many horse heads do you get in a box? Because this horse doesn't have a head. You have to buy an entirely new box so I can have a horse head.
Imagine 5, Jay. Imagine 5.
There's half a head. There's 2 halves of heads. There's 3.5.
How many members have we got, Jay?
It's not a strong start.
Do we need to go and have a look?
Thank you, Sam Deco. It says, Joe, I've just been given 20 Raven Talon dudes. Do you like them? Would you like them? Also, Deathwatch ruined, bastards. All right, Sam, this is a stupid question. Yes, obviously I want them. If they're going, I would fucking love them.
There's a butt coming.
You have to send it to the PO box.
There's another butt coming.
What's the butt?
Don't you normally like to know what state they're in?
When it's expensive forge world, I'm less picky.
Okay, right, okay.
The pickiness scale dips with the more expensive the unit
When
gets.
it's one of those things, you're like, Liam, can I have these? And I look on the website and see the price of the resin, and I'm like, no. Then Joe's like, I'll take anything that people will give me.
Yeah. I'll be out there on Empress Road. You'll see me.
Only Joe.
Only Joe's.
Yeah.
I'm going to just pick this
very
head.
Generous of you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. You're an absolute hero. I love you long time. As to your other comment about Deathwatch ruined.
I think they are, from what the article showed us. not having their own codex. So I'll explain why, using just the facts in the article.
Yeah.
Because I know what you're like. You won't have read the article.
I haven't read the article.
Exactly.
No. Yeah.
So I know that's why you're pausing as to what you can say. The article has said that Deathwatch can take kill teams, plural, watch captains, Artemis, and Corvus Black Stars.
Yeah.
And if you want any of the other things in Deathwatch, you can go to your black-clad Space Marines, basically. So if you want to run pure Deathwatch, you've got two options. You buy the Space Marine Codex, and then you have to run Intercessors, etc., as Space Marine units, and then Outriders as Space Marine units, etc. And then you can ally in the Deathwatch stuff.
Yeah.
If you're allying in Agents of the Imperium, you can take 2 retinue units, so 2 kill teams, 2 character units, so 2 Watchmasters, and 1 requisition unit, which is Sisters or Grey Knights.
So have they said that the index is dead?
Well, it won't be yet, will it? Because the Codex isn't out.
So
But if you want to go pure Deathwatch and use Agents of the Imperium, you have to pick 1 of 4 detachments, 3 of which are Ordo Malleus, Xenos, and Hereticus, and then you can take all your Deathwatch units, but you won't have access to any of the Space Marine units.
yeah.
But I feel like they fucked him.
I don't. And this is where me and Liam differ, right? Because
That and in general intelligence, but yeah, carry on.
yes, I really fucking love the lore, right? I really love narrative, I really like story, right? And some of my biggest bugbears through the years have been
I know exactly where you're going to go with this as well.
Deathwatch, Grey Knights, Custodes, as armies in general.
Yep.
Right? Because until the Emperor decided to have a little whisper, right, the Custodes never left Terra. Right? Right? So the ones that were out and about, very small numbers as envoys or diplomats, right? And any time Deathwatch are ever referenced in any of the books ever, it is a team, maybe 1 or 2 people, like a librarian and a captain, maybe a couple Terminators, barely 20 of them. They're like, you 15 people, go and fix that planet. And then they send those 15 people and they go and get shit done, right? They're like, kill Tyranids or kill Gene Stealers, right? I'd never really liked them as a whole army.
Right.
If they're going to go back to a position where you can go, here's my guard army, here's my 2 units of Deathwatch, I'm like, that's great. That's exactly how I envision Deathwatch should be.
I'm not disagreeing with you yet.
Right. And I think if you can do that and you can mix and match that, I think it's not a problem.
I'm not disagreeing with you yet.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Also, I didn't like bikes being in the unit.
I still don't disagree with you yet, Joe. Are you done?
Go on then.
So what about the people that have fucking 3,000 points of Deathwatch because Games Workshop have allowed it for the last 2 editions?
I don't know.
That's when the feels bad. So I agree with everything you've just said.
Yeah.
The problem is Games Workshop have allowed it.
Yeah, and that is the sore sticking point, and I do feel sorry for those people. But we also need to think like Sisters of Battle are in those army box sets, right? Sisters of Battle have their own codex. I think people are very quick to jump on the doom and gloom without applying any serious level of...
But they've also stated in there there will be a Grey Knight Codex coming soon.
Yeah.
They've said that so they've said Sisters are in there. We know the Sisters Codex, we've already got one.
Mm-hmm.
They've said Grey Knights are in there and Deathwatch are in there. They've said, don't worry, Grey Knight players, you've got a Codex coming.
Yeah, but they've also done an index for Emperor's Children, but not really committed to the fact that an Emperor's Children book might be coming.
I mean, they're correct.
Like Games Workshop are
Why
about
do they do all this secretive shit? It doesn't make sense.
Like they're all about as cryptic as the Lord Almighty, you know? Like they're all like, something might be happening. It might not be happening, but it might be. But here's a model that represents that thing that may or might not be happening.
And in the meantime, all we're going to do is just piss our customers off.
Yeah. 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 I know you've spent £500 on an army in the last few years. Whether you could use it in the future, who knows, you know? But I wouldn't be too worried as a Deathwatch. Right.
We disagree.
I'm going to reference Valrak now.
Oh, God.
Right.
We're
Is that all rumours are lies until they've been given out by Games Workshop? Unless you've heard directly from Games Workshop say a thing. Right? So until Games Workshop goes specifically, there will be no Deathwatch Codex, or there will be a Deathwatch Codex. You just have to wait. And it's shit. It's really, really fucking shit. And I hate it. But be happy that you can run your Deathwatch army narratively now. You know?
I don't think that's going to wash for a lot of people, mate.
It's not. And I'm sorry. It's shit. Right? And someone basically spent literal months being sick in their mouth thinking about the idea of a new Chaos Space Marine Codex coming. I was terrified. You know?
This is a historical Games Workshop fault as well.
Yeah.
They should never have broke out Harlequins.
No.
They should never have broke out Harlequins from the Eldar book. They shouldn't have.
No.
They should never have broke out Deathwatch.
No.
shouldn't have.
Deathwatch should have just stayed the cool elite guys that go and fix problems around the Imperium.
No, and I completely agree. But the problem going and in 10 years' time, there's a possibility that some people this will have blown over a little bit. People will have kind of forgotten it's happened. And if Deathwatch remain then as essentially part of the Agents of the Imperium book, because I miss the old Demon Hunters Codex. I think it was a great time to be alive when that sort of shit existed. So this is what I'm saying. Yeah. We don't think differently here, Joe. I literally completely agree with you.
So when Peachy came here, right? Peachy came here.
And you sniffed him.
I sniffed him. I took his pants off and took a deep.
Took a what?
A deep.
Oh, that's what you say.
A deep, right? And he turned up here with Sisters, Guard, and Space Marine.
And he bought out his 9th edition Codex.
He bought out his 9th edition Codex. He's like, I'm ready to play. I'm like, you can't make a literal kind of army with this.
I love these, by the way. These are two-piece models that are basically basic infantry, and I love them, Joe.
And do you know what? There's a potential now that Peachy could run an army that's got Sisters and Guard and Space Marines in it, right? Because they're defending a place, you know? I think until the book comes out, it's difficult not to think that the sky is falling like Chicken Little.
The thing is, they've done so much fucking heinous shit to their customers. I think it's reasonable that people expect the worst.
We are, unfortunately, we have been beaten into submission by Games Workshop, right? Throughout the years, we have been taught by Games Workshop management to be terrified, to be scared, you know, about what is coming.
But again,
I think in Games Workshop, right? So this is not all Games Workshop. This is a specific higher level of Games Workshop, right?
Okay, good. Right? I agree.
This is not your store manager. This is not your Warhammer TV mindset. This isn't even the people that are in charge of some of the departments. These are decisions that are being made much higher up, right? Where I think in their heads, they're like, well, if they don't know, they're just going to spend more money on other shit because they're just thirsty nerds for plastic crack, you know? And we are simple humans like that, you know? But
thirsty nerds.
We are thirsty nerds, you know? But I think we need to just be accepting of the fact that Games Workshop reacts in a specific way. They have got the entire community wrong. What the community wants is openness and a bit of an idea of what's fucking happening.
Yeah, they do. I don't think it's ever going to come, unfortunately.
But it won't come.
And I you know, moving Deathwatch back into Agents of the Imperium. If we're talking about, we're doing a stream talking about flavour. Moving Deathwatch back into Agents of the Imperium from a narrative perspective.
I love it.
It's the right move, right? And I think from a narrative perspective, I think it is the right move. And I think moving Harlequins back into Eldar is the right move. Like, I think all these things are the right move in that regards if we focus on just the narrative.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop the fact that they have allowed people to build full armies of this stuff.
Yeah.
People have got thousands and thousands of points of a faction that they've put together because Games Workshop have allowed it to happen. And they're now going, yeah, you know that thing we allowed you to do that you spent a lot of money on? We're going to take it away from you now. You can't do that anymore. And that's a shitty behaviour. Now, it could be suggested that it's unfortunately a necessary evil to pull things back into narrative and pull things back into fun and calm shit down and balance shit a little bit.
Yeah.
Arguably, yes, I don't necessarily disagree with that. But the fact of the matter is they allowed it to happen and they're now taking it away from people with no real... And this is the other thing as well. Because things like Warcom have to bang that fucking positive drum the whole time, there is no, this is really shit for you Deathwatch people, we're really sorry.
Yeah.
And here's a way we're going to sort of appease you.
Yeah.
They don't do any of that. They go, look how great we are.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of my problem with it, right? The constant, look how great we are, look how good we are, look at this awesome new miniature. That's dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Right?
I hate it. I hate it. I will be using the metal one. I will be getting one off eBay.
Well, you might not be able to.
Yeah.
What if you need the Eagle model as a separate model?
I'll just get other Eagle models. There are other Eagle models in the game. There's the Flyy Birdie Raptor ones from Stormcast and stuff. Like, so there are other Eagle models you can use as a whatever it's supposed to be. I don't know. But I think we've got to a stage now where we've had the keys to Daddy's gun locker for too long, and he's tired of us blowing holes in the furniture. And he's like, I'm taking the keys away now. And we're like, no! Guns! Explosions!
No, but I want them to take the keys away and put some more restrictions on list building and stuff like that, and go back into a narrative mindset where they're putting together codexes and they're putting together factions and they're working out how allies work. Yeah. I want it to go back to a more narrative mindset. So in that regard, I want them to take the keys back. I'm not arguing about that. I feel very sorry for the Deathwatch players that spent a lot of time, effort, and money painting. Some of them, my friend Martin, who I've talked about a lot, right? His Deathwatch army recently, his recently full fucking Deathwatch army of many thousand points recently featured in White Dwarf. It is fucking stunning.
Oh, I know. That's a sexy one.
It's fucking stunning. And I was talking to the other day, he's like, so that's going back in the cupboard then?
Yeah. So...
But then he also, not long ago, discovered AOS, and I don't think he's touched 40K
But you can,
since.
right. This is where Joe tries to play good cap. You can still run your existing Deathwatch army as Space Marines. You can still use those Deathwatch units, just not how you used to. Your Eradicators go back into 3-man units. You can't run 5-man bike squads anymore. You know?
I think there's going to be inevitable casualties of shit that you can't use.
Oh yeah, but that happens with every book. That happens with every codex. I am looking at the future of like someone like Blood Angels. I'm like, all those Death Company models that people have been using for years and years and years. I don't think they're going to be around anymore.
The ones that can't hear.
Yeah, I am 99% sure that Death Company are just going to be the Plastic Assault Marine Squad with an upgrade sprue.
You reckon? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure about that. Death Company is so iconic that I don't know if I agree, but...
Because...
I hope I'm not proved wrong.
Because, right? 99% of the Blood Angels all died on Baal. So, 99% of the current Blood Angels army is made up of Primaris units, which all run mono weapons in all their units, because it was based on the heresy style of making armies, like all. So it would mean that the Death Company would end up with the weapons that they were using anyway. So what I hope that they do is they go inside the Assault Intercessor box set with jump packs. There is a Power Fist, a Power Sword, Plasma Pistol, I think, maybe a Flamer Pistol, right? That's what you can take in a Death Company unit. 1 Power Fist, 1 Power Sword, 3 Chain Swords, right? For every 5. I reckon that's what it's going to be. They might surprise us and go, here's a Blood Angels upgrade sprue with more Power Fists on it.
The thing is, the big problem with this goes back to army composition.
Yeah.
It's a different part of army composition now, but the big problem with this goes back to the lack of granular points.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with allowing every model in the unit to take a Power Fist or a Thunderhammer or an Inferno Pistol when each one of those things had an individual cost.
Yeah.
When every single one of those things had an individual cost, how many times do you see Death Company players come to the table with 10 Death Company jump Marines with Power Fists and all Inferno Pistols?
Yeah.
You didn't. Because the points investment was so incredibly high that you didn't see it. The second you remove granular points and you allow people that freedom, back to list composition, that freedom to do whatever the fuck they want, at that point you break what that unit does, and so you don't see standard Death Company Marines. So if they then go, so what's happened now is you see people with 10 Death Company Marines with Power Fist and Infernus Pistol with jump packs. So if they've allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
They've allowed that to happen. So if they now bring up the Blood Angels Codex and they say, oh, by the way, here's a new box set. You've got 1 Power Fist, 1 Thunderhammer, 1 Inferno Pistol, 1 Plasma Pistol, 1 Flavor Pistol, 1 this, 1 that, blah, blah, blah. You can only take what's in the box. I feel like it's fully valid for Blood Angels players to be pissed off because they have essentially allowed it. They have facilitated those stupid units and then gone, thanks for spending all that money, we're now taking it away from you. Here's another thing, right? This is an aside, but it's relevant to the conversation, so I'm going to go down this rabbit hole anyway.
I'll set him off.
But because I want to know your opinion on this. It's not about setting me off. I said this last night on stream, which you won't have watched. But do you think? How do I word this I don't want to sway your decision. Is the treatment of players like this, like what we've just spoke about, unique to 40k within Games Workshop? Or does it happen in other game systems the same way?
Yes and no. Because like game systems just come and disappear.
I don't think, if we take the other major game systems, I don't think any of the other customer bases get treated this way.
Oh, no. But then you've got to think, right, AOS have done it differently with like Beastmen and the Warcry teams, like the old legacy Underworlds teams. Like we've been told you've got a year of this and then it's going.
But this is what I'm saying. So at this point, that then invalidates the whole, but someone up in upper management, someone in upper management decides to keep it all secret. Because AOS have gone, now you've got a year of it before it goes away.
But then at the same time, you've got to think, like Space Marine players lost land speeders, attack bikes, normal bikes. Things have just fucking disappeared overnight.
But why?
Because they've got the new version.
Because they had 8 million data sheets, and whose fault's that?
Your mum?
Games Workshop's. Oh. It's their fault, Joe. This is my point. There's no excuse for this. They've put us in this nonsense position.
If they had made little bikes, because there's no reason why you can't take the little bikes and just go, they're Outriders now and put them on a big bike, on a big base. That's not a problem. They just don't sell them anymore. That's how Games Workshop looks at things. They go, we took away all your heresy toys, but you can run the Sicarans as Predators. You can run the Spartans as Land Raiders. You can run the Contemptors out as normal Hellbrutes and Dreadnoughts. So the argument is you're always going to be able to use it as something.
But what I'm saying is, at this point, does it invalidate the opinion that this is an upper management decision? Does it actually then lay the burden of responsibility with the individual studios? Because AOS do it very differently.
I think what they'll probably, management go, the Space Marine range is taking up too much space in our warehouse, cull some units. And they'll go like, well, eventually we want all Space Marines to be the new 32 mil heroic scale. We don't want it to be the old 25 one, so we'll slowly phase it out. But it's like they took away the Assault Marine box set, but you can still use those as Assault Intercessors. Boop. I have fixed the box.
Yeah?
The box is repaired.
Did you find a spare horse head?
I did. I don't know yet. We'll come to...
That's a later Joe problem.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge later. I've got this guy who's literally carrying the casket with him.
Oh, yeah, he's a weird dude. I'll be honest with you, Joe. I've got more Bone Reapers than I thought I had. Mm-hmm. I do really like these models.
Boner, man. He lives for the boner. You live by the boner, die by the boner.
I do like these Bone Reapers, Joe. You're allowed to keep building them, though.
Oh, can I?
For now.
For now. What happens if I start painting them? I'm going to try and build this guy.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah? Yeah.
You do like Boner Men.
Boner Men. Yeah, but how likely are you going to get around to building and painting 2,000 points of this?
Soon? Not at all.
It's my army now.
Soon? Not at all. Excuse me? Mr. Cities and Flesh Eater Courts.
Also my army.
Soulblight Gravelords and... What did I buy just earlier?
Stuff.
By the way, chat, we could really do with hitting the membership target today because before we went on the air on stream, the business spent £400 on more AOS models for Joe. Well, some of them are Bone Reapers, so most of it's definitely for Joe.
Well, Joe's going to have to build and paint it all. That's the crux of the situation.
Well, I don't know. It depends how quickly I get through Nighthaunt.
And your Sylvaneth.
my Sylvaneth because you're moaning about facing the same list.
I'm so boring.
My paints turned up late yesterday from GW that I ordered, so
Yeah?
I could get back to painting the Sylvaneth soon.
Yeah, I just want some variety in your army because people are going to start calling you
Joe,
Brom.
I've said that to you about 40k armies for the last fucking 6 months.
Well, it's a good thing I run 12 armies, isn't it? They get the variety on the fact that I run so many.
Do they?
That's what they get.
Sam, thank you for 5 gifted.
Thank you, Sam.
Although there might be more gifted that we haven't read out yet because Joe's going through it really slowly.
Yeah, because we've been talking about.
I think it's good conversation. I'll be honest with you, mate. I think it's good conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, Harborn, for 5 gifted. Harborn Vortex Games
Thank you, Hardmon.
for 5 gifted memberships. I hope Vortex Games. I'm assuming you're a business that you get lots of customers.
He's potentially going to be our Canadian element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope all of your syrup is extra syrupy. Yeah.
I fucking love maple syrup. Actually,
I hope all of your mousses are extra moist.
the moose is loose as about this hooses.
Yeah.
There you go, Joe. There's the first 10 chain rasps.
Yeah.
These things are actually cool as shit.
Rolf was just like, maybe Joe should read out the super chats and memberships. Maybe I should.
Right.
Thank you, Kazarian. A
Easily.
5-minute speech justifying the word cunt. But someone innocently says something a bit square, dare I say, boxy, and watch him turn. Well, if you're going to keep giving him money, Kaz, then can't be friends. What are you doing?
Making sure you're on mic tea before I go to the bathroom.
Are you going to the toilet? Tick Monkey. Oh, thank you, Liz Brandt. Say thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
He says thank you. Thank you, Liz, for 5 gifted memberships. I hope when you sing, it comes out really good. You know, that's what I've got right now. I'm sorry. I hope next time you sing and someone hears you, they're like, that's amazing. You should be a star. Okay? That's what I'm going to go with. Okay? Thank you, Stick Monkey. Nothing worse than a sticky tip. That's the best kind of tip, surely, when it's sticky. Like when you throw like a toy at a wall and it's like bloop, and then it goes bloop, and then bloop, and bloop, and it slowly folds down the wall because it's so sticky. And no, Joe, you wouldn't want a dry mousse. The moist mousse is the future. Thank you, Rolfus. How do I do this WhatsApp thingy? Have you sold that?
Yeah,
He's in there, is he? I'm not on my phone, see, like you, all the time. Thank you, Grimdark Mark. He says, Joe, and my I hope came true, but with consequences.
Yeah. You hoped him something about ice cream, I think, and he went to an ice cream shop. He tried to force the hope through. Yeah. And I think he ended up with a dodgy stomach.
Oh, you don't want to force it.
No. Don't force the hope. You have to let it happen naturally.
Yeah.
Mr. He's always on his phone. It's exactly what I caught you doing on Tuesday night while you sat over there.
I don't know why it was something game related. I wanted something. I was looking for rules for something. Yeah.
Was it?
It was. Yeah.
Was it?
That was exactly what it was.
Wasn't Instagram real, ladies? Was it?
No. I don't want to distract myself that much.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's for when I'm in the bathroom. Thank you.
Thank you for all the gifts.
No, I went and looked because we were talking about terrain, and I was trying to very quickly look for battlefield in a box terrain.
I nearly bought Osgiliath yesterday.
All of it?
The terrain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the GW terrain.
I've got 4 boxes of that in my garage.
Osgiliath?
Yeah.
When did you get that?
3 boxes. We just turned up from Steve one day.
I had been talking to Steve about the fact that I wanted Osgiliath terrain for fantasy.
Yeah.
And for AOS.
Yeah.
The Osgiliath stuff is beautiful.
Yeah, it turned up about a month ago, but I've just been doing fuckloads of other stuff. Maybe that becomes my next commission job. Yeah, don't force it. Forcing it's bad. Thank you, Rufus. I agree with Liam, but I love Joe and he should enjoy something lovely in life.
That's a reference to Monster. Not obviously do you physical damage.
It doesn't do me physical damage. Like, I've not got a broken arm or anything.
No, just a hernia.
Yeah, but the monster didn't give me...
How do you know that wasn't the reason that you've had a weakening of your stomach lining, which is why the hernia exists?
Well, maybe it's because I went to start going to the gym. It's because I haven't exercised in fucking 3 years.
Well, neither have I. I've been in the gym for the last 3 months. I don't have a hernia.
Yeah? Well, bully for you.
I'm just saying, Joe.
Yeah.
Monster equals bad.
No. No.
Yes.
I feel like this guy should have a more fancy base. I'm going to be back in a minute.
No, because they're already on black bases. They'll be fine.
Oh, no, but because he's a character, I feel like he should raise up a little bit. Only by a couple mil. Back in a moo. I can't run properly. Because
That is a run. I can't say what I wanted to say live on air, but that is a run.
a waddle,
Yeah, waddle.
a slump.
You did literally move across the room like you just shit yourself. So you don't need to run. It's fine. We can overrun a little bit.
People might miss me. I doubt it. Oh, I completely missed the chair then. Yeah, back now. I had to get some cork.
Yeah. Do you know what? I genuinely get to a point now where I really fucking look forward to these hobby
Joe would
streams.
not have so easily abandoned the defence of Osgiliath.
He would.
I wouldn't.
He would.
I fucking love Osgiliath.
If fucking Sauron had put a sign up outside the Black Gate saying fucking free pizza and monster, Joe would have left off Gileath. There'd have been a cloud where Joe once was.
I'll come back though.
I don't know if that helps, Joe.
Osgiliath looks like the place has got a good, decent pizza oven. I think, yeah.
Better than the fires of Mordor for pizza.
Yeah, it'd be really like ashy and bitty, wouldn't it? Like overcooked. You know when you cook a pizza, you know when you get a frozen pizza and you cook it and it's like burnt on the outside until frozen in the middle?
No.
Right, have you ever had that?
I don't know that experience.
Or like, I put one in the oven and like the middle, like the lower level of our oven, the cooker's hard, so you put it to the top. So basically the base of the pizza is like rock solid Rivita, and the rest is like a weird soup sloshing around the top. I hate when that happens. Anyway, Sam Deacon, my issue with 40k right now is I have to use my unit to EDF, Electronic Dance Funk.
Yes.
Do nothing for a whole turn, and my opponent can still negate. Horus Heresy is winning for me at the moment. Force organization chart for So I love Horus Heresy army composition because depending on what kind of formation attachment you want, there are positives and negatives. You can take things, there's things you can't take. You know, if you take a specific assault detachment, you can't take heavy support units, for instance. I love that. I almost wish that's what you had in 40k, in like in the 112 like detachments.
Well, there's other cool things about Heresy as well. Isn't there a points value limit or points limit before you can take things like Primarchs?
Yeah.
So, like, I would argue that that's not something that necessarily could be completely ruled out for 40k as well. Like, 2,000 points is tournaments, but guess what? You can't take a Mortarion or a Magnus or an Angron or...
Well, the thing is, like,
Gulliman or the Lion.
what I quite like is, like, in Old World, there's limits to units where you can only take one per 1,000 points. So in a 2,000 point game, you could take two. But some of those units are quite strong. So some tournament organisers were thinking about running 99 point tournaments.
So you're limited to one?
Yeah. Do limits to one kind of thing. But they didn't. They just do flat 2,000 except the two. But like having units in your army that are 0-1, I feel like they need to bring back. You know? So I like the idea where there needs to be more unique units in armies.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Like you can only take one solitaire in your army. He's not a HQ option, but he's just a random character you can bring.
So what sort of other things would you apply that to then?
I don't know. I feel like in 40k there should be unique on super heavies and knights.
Okay.
Maybe even because I feel like
Knights is an interesting one. So you can take like one paladin.
yeah. So, but like if you're not running Imperial Knights, you can bring like their unique characters kind of thing. Because I just feel like, personally, I don't feel like Knights and super heavies fit in the game anymore.
I don't think they've ever really fitted in the game, Joe.
I feel like they break the game a bit much.
They've always caused more problems than they've solved.
They're either really efficient or super shit. So like if you take a Baneblade to a tournament, you can't get out of your deployment zone because there's no corridors big enough to fit them through between the buildings kind of thing. So I kind of feel like that needs to change. Like army composition building 40k needs to come back. Do it.
I think more restrictive list building is 100% a direction I would go in.
Yeah.
I'm also an advocate for returning to granular points, personally. And I know there are people out there like, nah, the new system is simpler and easier to bring new people in, which it is, but I don't know.
This guy's got crazy dreadlocks. He's got bone dreadlocks. Locks, not locks. Lock. Boner man with bone dreads. This army, I didn't like this army at all, but now it's really grown on me.
Oh, is it? Why?
I don't know. I just thought the models were just a lot shitter than they actually are. But that's because of how Games Workshop photos things.
I'll be honest with you, I really, really, really seesaw on the model range. I seesaw between, they're actually quite nice. Nah, I'm not a fan. They're not my favourite. They sit in the mid-range for me.
Yeah. Like, you'll be like, oh, this unit's all right, and then there's one model, you're like, ugh, why does this exist? I think, because the problem is they're like, they're not skeletons that we're used to. Historically, throughout Games Workshop, all the skeletons that we've been provided are your kind of Jason the Argonaut stop-motion style skeletons, you know? The high fantasy skeletons, where these are like more Necron-y, thick, like their bones are bigger than normal bones because like where the bone armor, the bone is, it's kind of exaggerated to look as if it was muscle.
Right.
So it's more like these are just normal people but made of bone armor. You know.
Well, that's the narrative behind it, though, isn't it? They use the bone type to craft things like armor.
Yeah, but like the armor is also them, and it's just new and different and strange, you know.
I don't like change,
and we don't like that. We don't like change. We don't like new. We don't like different. So
we do.
Thank you, Rolfus. Is Liam effing up, or am I blind?
Effing up what? No, I was. There was an issue with the angle camera. This one, boop, which I had to fix.
He does also say, Joe Boob Cam, I am all for it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you some tops that show off your cleavage for this particular angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should start wearing vests. You know, fishnet vest.
In the right weather, Joe, there's nothing wrong with a vest.
Yeah, I feel like there is. I don't feel like men should wear vests in general.
I have loads of vests when it's hot.
I don't feel like, unless you're Tom Hardy or one of the Hardy boys, because they were keen on a fishnet vest.
I mean, I don't own a fishnet vest if that's your problem.
Drew is not like Tyranid. Tyranids are very different.
What do you mean?
I think he's talking when I was talking about armor. I don't have instructions, thus not knowing how this guy's arm.
Well, there'll be instructions somewhere.
Yeah, but it's not. It wasn't in the box.
Well, that's more of a you problem, isn't it?
Well, if you looked after your toys.
Well, you can just Google the instructions.
Nah, I'm here now.
There's like Reddit pages with all the instructions on them.
Nah. Just like asking for directions.
This is what happens all the time, right? Whinge. Here's an answer, Joe. No, I'm not going to do that.
No,
I've given you a solution to solve your problem. No, don't do that. I'd rather complain.
Yeah.
I'd just rather be angry about it.
Yeah. I want to justify my anger. Thank you, Ian Inderman. Players will always try and break the game. It seems endemic in games like 40k and even D&D. Poor rules, e.g. Index Aldari, that make it easier to do. That is true.
I just feel like it's worse in 40k, but it might just be because I've been more exposed to the 40k scene than anything else.
I know, like it's like in D&D. This is like when I was working at Factorum was a problem in like the D&D groups that started where it was like you can be a rogue, you could be an elf, you could be a dwarf, you could do a hobbit, and then someone just goes, oh, you could be half angel, half demon. Oh, I'm immune to all bad things in the game. You know. Like, I can't be cursed or something. And it's like, so basically you've picked your character based on the fact that you just ignore half the rules in the game. And that's kind of what Eldar feels like, or felt like, when it first came out.
I feel like I just wouldn't want to do D&D with that kind of person.
Yeah, but also, there's no such thing as a deal. There might be, I don't know, there aren't D&D tournaments, are there?
I don't know.
Like, you know, like, who's the best at winning D&D?
I imagine there isn't D&D tournaments. I just love the fact that ABR comes and says, "Give me your bones, boys, or else." I mean, the narrative behind Bone Reapers is cool as shit. The narrative behind Bone Reapers is amazing. It's some of my favourite. But the model range, like I said, I really flip-flop. There's a couple that I really like. So, like the Stalkers, the Necropolis Stalkers, I think they're great kits. I really like the Necropolis Stalkers. And even if you build them as the Guard, as the Stalkers, I think they're amazing kits. I really do. Archlord Liege Cavalos is a great kit.
Oh, he's a stunning model.
Yeah, there's a few of them that I'm really a big fan of. And then, I don't know, and I don't hate the line infantry and the cavalry, but I don't love them. Some of the cavalry, to me, maybe it's just, here's this one. No? Yeah, this guy. He just looks a bit derpy. He's just kind of sat in a weird position on his horse. It's just,
is that because you built it?
No, he could only build it one way, Joe.
Oh. It's because they like control the horses with their bone brain.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it.
Like,
so
they just make it do stuff with their will. But I also like the idea of like in like the Bone Reapers where they have basically hunters, like which is basically like their boss has gone, go and kill that person. They just literally hunt them to the end of the world. And because they're undead, they will just literally follow them everywhere.
It's cool, isn't it?
It is cool. And I've kind of made the decision based on the fact that I've read some books where they're kind of in them but not the main characters. And I'm like, oh, I like that aspect. I like that aspect. That's cool. This guy's basically like Boner Predator.
He's weirdly cooler without the big casket on his back as well, mate.
Yeah. He's just too emo. He's like emo skeleton man. Right then, next question. Jill Thompson.
That's not. Yeah, thank you. Say the whole name. Shouldn't get married for you to murder the name.
I do. I've got 2 games booked in with an absolute top lad, AOS and 40k. Buzzing for AOS, not the 40k one. It's just a bit of a flat in it. It's just a bit flat. I think what you should do, Jill, is play 40k first. Don't do it. Don't. If you're really excited for the AOS game, do it last. Because you don't want to be like, oh, AOS, play AOS, and then just be like, oh, bored now.
I do find I'm inclined to agree that 40k is, for me at least, feeling flat. I know a bunch of competitive players love it, and I had this conversation with Mikey when he was here. Balance for the game, not flavour, not excitement. Balance for the game is in the best place it's ever been. That's a fact. It's in the best place it's been for a very, very, very long time. But I feel like it's flat and it's boring, and I don't get love for it. And when I put a card that tells me to go and do an action in my deployment zone, and an action in the middle of the board, and an action in my opponent's deployment zone, and it ends at the end of my opponent's turn. So what I've got to do is got to have my units stand there for one full battle round and do nothing. Like, I just feel like it's a bit dull. I don't want to spend money, time, and effort painting cool fucking space dudes with guns and swords and shields to then go, cool, these 3 are going to stand there and do fuck all for a whole battle round. I hate that about the game, and I think it does really lack flavour. I think it's very flat. I think it has borderline become quite a boring game. Now, our numbers for content are kind of reflecting that right now. We've stayed quite positive about 10th on the whole because it doesn't make sense to just be negative all the time and to click and rage bait people into content. Plus, it's been our main game forever, so we've kind of had to be positive so that we can showcase the game properly, but also attract people to watching it without going, oh, they're just going to moan about 10th edition again, which is not the intent of the channel at all. This isn't going together.
I've literally cut straight through the instruction manual. It's fine.
But I would be lying to you if I wasn't to say, Jill, that I actually personally think it's got quite boring and quite bland, and I feel like the 40k audience is kind of on that same trajectory with us at the moment. We are now seeing a significant increase in AOS views. We're not seeing an increase in 40k views. In fact, we're seeing a decrease in 40k views, which is not a surprise. No. Now, I do expect, if we were to get an announcement in a month's time that says the next Codex is a big one and it's Blood Angels, which is a very popular faction, right? Which is rumoured everywhere. I expect we'll see a surge in viewership for a brief period at least. But once people work out what it can do, it kind of goes to a bit boring again. And when people, I've had these comments in the chat before as well. When people come on and they realise we're not running optimum lists and we're not running the latest stuff, people at that point are like, oh, I don't want to watch this.
People get quite...
Like, why have you taken that unit? It's just bad. Because I fucking like it and it's fun. You miserable cunt, fuck off and play a different game. Fuck off and play a different... If it's like, only take good stuff, do you know what? Fuck off and play something else. I'm not interested.
As you can see, he gets affected by it.
But when did it become a thing in 40k in general? Like, I used to walk around tournaments back in fucking 7th edition and even 8th edition and be like, what the fuck's that? Oh, it's one of these things. I really fucking like it. Like, that's cool. And now you're like, oh, cool. I've gone to a tournament. It's copy and paste everyone's list. Yeah. Everyone's just running the same shit.
What you do quite often see is like
virgins.
Yes, everywhere. No, it's that when you have like list building workshops, list building help, list building like, oh, I've submitted my list. How would I make this better? One of the worst things that I see from people that give list building help when someone submits their army list is they're like, cut 80% of your army out. Buy this. It's good. You know? It's never, well, what units do you like? What are the units that must be in your army because you like them?
I've seen that loads, mate. I've seen people go, we work hard to make sure you can bring the lists that you want and bring the units that you want. You're like, cool, these are the units that I really love in this particular faction. Like, yeah, don't take any of them, they're rubbish.
Yeah.
Right, well, that's not...
That's not what I've been sold.
Yeah.
So I think what we need to do is like people need to understand that like when you go to a tournament, right, you're trying to give help and you need to give advice, it needs to be on a personal level. You can't just blanket go, here's everything.
Yeah.
Major Ring Sticks says, have we seen anyone copy Joe's Powerhouse Flesh Tearers list that did so well? No, you won't, because I took it because it was fun and it was stupid. I'm probably going to take a fun, stupid army to Hellstorm. But, like, if you need to, like, people need to understand, like, if you take units to win, that's fine, right? But don't force that on someone else. Someone that's at a tournament who might be running the same flesh tearers. Don't be like, I've never gone, why are you taking those units?
I've seen that interaction happen.
And it happens all the time. And they're like, stop using that. That's stupid. That's dumb. And that person's like, well, I really like that. I spent ages working on it. That's why I bought it. You know? I think, like, I like the idea of helping people write lists, but it's also really time consuming and requires research.
It depends. It depends on your approach, Joe.
Yeah.
If you're like copy and paste latest best net list, there you go. It doesn't take any time at all, mate.
No.
If you're like, how do I make a list, or how do I help someone make a list that is personal to them and includes the things that they like and the things that they want, that does take time. That is time consuming.
Yeah.
And it's like part of my old, in 7th and 8th edition, I used to go to a lot of tournaments. Right, and I used to really enjoy them. I used to go to loads actually. And do you know what part of my biggest enjoyment was of going to tournaments?
Drinking.
Yes. Do you know my other biggest enjoyment from going to tournaments, though?
Beating up nerds.
Yes. Right.
Cheating.
But do you know what the one that's relevant to this particular conversation is?
I don't know.
Is the fact that you go to a tournament and you play 5 games with your insert faction here. For me, it was predominantly Eldar.
Yeah.
And you go, do you know what the list was lacking this?
Yeah.
There's a thing the list was lacking. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play around with my granular points and I work out how I can put a unit in that fills that. It's like managing a football team, soccer for you in America, right? And you go, we're lacking a bit of creativity in the midfield, or we don't quite have enough pace on the wing. So when the transfer window opens, I'm going to go and find that winger that we need to put some pace on the wing. I'm going to find that central midfielder that I need to have a bit of creative flair, right? That's what happens with football teams. I used to really enjoy that with 40k.
Yeah.
I used to be like, how do I solve the hole that I have, the problem that I've got, whilst using a combined arms detachment and keep what?
How do I solve the hole?
That's not
How do
funny.
I solve the hole? My brain made it funny.
This is the child that I have to fucking work with all the time.
I hate having to solve the hole.
But do you know what I mean though? That was actually part of the journey going to tournaments was like, I've come up against a Iron Hands player,
Yeah.
and I struggle to deal with this thing here. So how do I make sure I don't have that same struggle if I come up against a similar list or a similar player in the future? Well, I add this unit in, and you add the unit in, and then you go to your next tournament, and you go, by adding that unit in, I've created this other little problem here as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But what's weird, right, is that was easier to do when army list composition was a thing. Because now it's just weird, wild stuff everywhere. This army doesn't even look like an army. It's like, how do I deal with massed infantry? Well, no one's really running a massed infantry because it's all crap, kind of thing. How do I deal with mid-tier elite armies? Now it's like, how do I deal with an army of toughness 5, 3 to 4 wounds?
Yeah.
Madness.
Come on, 40k team, bring the flavour back.
Yeah, oh my God, we've got so much to work through.
Yeah, well, you're taking forever again.
Thank you, Crumpets Panda. I don't want my characters to be the local chef with his mates, the Terminators. I want him to be a murder lord.
Yes.
I want to spend points on guys who are paid to sweep the floor. I want to fight. Yeah, I was writing a Black Legion army list the other day, and it was just, and I was like, I just want my other Terminator lords to be good. I was like, I don't even understand why I'm putting Terminator Lords in my army, because all I'm doing is spending 100 points on something that gives me a free CP a turn. Because the benefit to the unit is negotiable.
Crumpets Panda, I'm with you 100%. 100%. Soccer, yeah, that's what we call it for the Americans. I'm with you 100% there. I'm the same. Like, when I list build in any edition, actually, including the current edition, one of the reasons why I'll never be a good competitive player at the moment, and to be honest with you, I'll probably never be a good competitive player in general, but one of the specific reasons why that won't happen at the moment is when I'm building a list, I'm like, what units can go and kill shit? I want to include those, like World Eaters. There's no unit that I've put in there that I'm like, this would be really good for actions. This would be really good for keeping off the table, walking on the side and doing an action.
No.
I don't put those units in my army because that doesn't occur to me, despite the fact that I know the game well enough to make it to consideration. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend that time, effort, money even, on a unit that just sits there and does fuck all. Oh, his fingers broke.
Yeah, that's like my biggest gripe. Like, I was like looking at guards and things like scions, and it's like I could take a 15-man scion unit. And there's nothing worse than pulling a secondary. It's like, oh, that 15-man scion unit is now standing in the corner. What are you doing?
I'm fixing a finger, but because you've fucking dropped the brush off that one, haven't you?
No. Yeah, it's like, oh, I've spent like 100 points on a unit that's going to stand in the corner of the table, press a button, and then die.
So if we're to summarise the lack of flavour, we're going list composition, mission, action specifically.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, actually. Every single mission being a hold one, hold more, hold one, hold more.
Yeah.
I'm not disregarding rugby. I'm just going for a sport that people... Look what I'm wearing, you lunatic! Just going for a sport that people more commonly know.
It just loves balls.
I just love bowls. If we go for list composition and army building composition, I think points have made a big difference. But that kind of linked into army building and list composition.
Yeah.
Missions made it. So what we're saying is, actually, the whole fucking thing's a car crash.
Yeah.
Essentially. That is what we're saying, though, isn't it? Long and short.
Yeah.
If you go list composition's bad, missions are bad, we're saying the core mechanics aren't the worst. But then we're saying it's flavourless how characters work. It's flavourless.
Well, because interestingly, up until 7th edition, it was all end of game scoring. And people were like, oh, I hate it, it's bad for competitive. But end of game scoring often allowed people to fight a 5 or 6, or a 6, maybe even a 7-turn game over different parts of the table. But I've lost that there, but I could hold this and I could do this. And then it's like, at the end of the game, we score it up, you know? Let's play a game, and then someone might win at the end.
Yeah.
Which I miss that.
I do.
It's so good.
I think controversially from the character conversation as well that Crumpets Panda was saying a minute ago, I also think that the ability for a character to join a unit or not, or requirement for it to join a unit or not, would vary just drastically depending on the army.
Yeah.
Like a guards commander joining a command squad, yeah, okay, that makes sense. A Space Marine captain could cut around on his own and be a hero.
Yeah.
And have loan op. I don't know, the new character.
But they've also changed it so a commander can't join a command squad in guard.
I know, don't. I don't like the characters joining units rule.
I don't mind characters joining units at all.
amazing.
I quite like that. buffing a unit. I just wish that they weren't shit when they left the unit.
Yeah.
You know? Or they should be able to join new units. Those are little fixes. Thank you, Evan Dominello, for
you,
one gifted membership.
Just the one,
Thank
actually.
you, Ian. He says, imagine a narrative event where Tyranid players had to fight battles against opponents who lost to Genestealer cults players to represent the invasion. But that could work, and that would be great. But what if the only downside is what if like 2 people turned up with Genestealer cults and they lost their first game?
I'm laughing at Soldier of Nedism, sorry.
Yeah.
I
think it could work.
He asked you to punch me, Jay.
Why?
Because I called him a lunatic.
Well, I'm not going to pay him because I'm not going to punch him because he buys my food.
Joe knows where his bread's buttered, sir.
Yeah. In the shop, and then they deliver it to us. Liam wouldn't butter my bread.
I'd buy your bread.
Thank you, Nerek. He says replacing chapters. But there could be, anyway, going on to Ian's one, yes, and we could find a way of making Tyranids like narrative kind of invasion work.
Oh, the concept of what he said is cool as shit.
Yeah.
It might not work at an event.
Maybe we get a bunch of the Tyranid spines and we just have them placed randomly, and that's like where the invasion tables start. Thank you, Narek. Says, replacing chapters and legions from Space Marine and Chaos Space Marine have removed a lot of flavour for me. The choice of a chapter is irrelevant and the enhancements are too generic.
Agree.
Fact. Yeah,
Strong agree.
when I play my Blood Angels, when I play my Flesh Terrors, I never played them as anything other than the Sons of Sanguinius detachment. Because that's the army that I play, you know?
Yeah, I run Dark Angels with
Yeah.
one of the Dark Angels attachments.
Yeah, I run my Raven Guard in the Raven Guard detachment. I'm doing a Salamander's army, which I'm going to run in the Salamander's detachment. And then I've got the White Scars, which I'll run in a White Scars detachment. I will not run them in the other ones because that's not what they are. That's not how I was raised, you know?
Good lad, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and...
He will run 3 of the same good unit, but, otherwise...
Well, in the White Scars, you haven't got much of a choice. Bikes. Chaplains on bikes, as your only bike characters. What happened to the Space Marine bike captain? Oh.
Don't, Joe, don't. It's a dangerous dark rabbit hole to dive down this one.
Fucking... Sam Deacon, 100% agree, it's just shit when you're invested.
It is, absolutely.
It is shit when you're
And
invested.
whether we like to admit it or not, we're all so fucking invested.
Yeah. I would say to my missus the other day, I said, I didn't do Warhammer, I literally don't know what I would do.
You'd probably been arrested by now.
Yeah. I just play, I'd be one of those people, I'd play on my Xbox more, I guess. A PC player, maybe. Drugs. Football hooligan. Probably not, I hate sport. Gun crime, that's where I'd go. Love guns. Thank you, Ryan Easterman. He says, glad Games Workshop bit the bullet now rather than allow Deathwatch to fall further and further behind, where you just take 2 squads using a mixture of the updated Space Marine releases. What was the future ever going to hold for Deathwatch? Yeah, that's something I didn't really like about how Games Workshop approached Deathwatch, right? Because you've got the plastic kill team, which I love, because you've got the entire mixture of exotic weapons that they're kitting themselves out to deal with the issue at hand. You know, we're going up against squads of lots and lots of massed small infantry, so we're going to bring frag cannons and flamers and stuff, combi flamers, you know, to deal with these things. Oh, we're fighting elite infantry, so we're going to bring swords and shields and hammers and stuff. I love that idea. But then they were like, Primaris, just take 5 of each Primaris unit and put them together into 10-man squads. And they're not...
It didn't make sense.
It didn't make any sense to me. They were kill team in the sense that, like, oh, we've taken 2 fire teams and put them together to make a larger fire team with a bit of variation. They weren't, like, a specific Space Marines trained to fight Tyranids, you know? You didn't have one Salamander with a flamer, one Blood Angel with like a jump pack, and then you could go one Primaris guy, like aggressor. It wasn't like 1-1-1-1-1, which I would have quite liked. Or like 1 of this, 2 of this, 3 of this, 1 of this. I've got specialist weapons. I just really felt like that was missing from Deathwatch.
Yeah, I feel like Deathwatch has not been a great narratively fun army. Like I feel like Deathwatch lost its flavour a while ago.
Yeah. It's like nowadays I feel like if you're doing Deathwatch, you're just gonna take Stone Guard. Because Stern Guard are more representative of what Deathwatch used to be, just Space Marines with specialist bolt guns.
Yeah, specialist ammunition, exactly.
Yeah, and that's what Stone Guard are. I feel like Deathwatch started to fall from grace in like 8th edition.
Yeah, agree. I actually agree with you.
And like, I didn't like the idea that like you had this weird mishmash of like a bunch of guys and a guy on a bike. You know, who's going to ride a bike into a Space Hulk?
Me. I'll do it.
Yeah. It just bugged me. It bugs me.
Is it a pedal bike?
Yeah, like the tiny one that the guy from Sword rides around on.
yeah.
The tiny little clown one. Thank you, Mike Easterman. Is it terrible to run your Deathwatch as Space Marine with Agents of the Imperium support? All Primaris models were just other Space Marines, so now you run pure squads?
Yeah, no, that's basically what they've alluded to in the article, mate. That's exactly what they're saying you can do.
So your kill teams of 5 Infiltrators and 5 Reavers don't exist anymore. You just run 5 Reavers as a 5-man squad.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said.
So you go, here's my squad of 6 aggressors, you know, they've just got different shoulder pads and they're painted black. I don't see that being, you're still running a Deathwatch army in the old sense of the things, but like it loses a lot of its flavour, which makes me sad. I think the best Space Marine detachment for Deathwatch, flavour-wise, is the Salamanders detachment.
Which one's that one, mate?
The Flamer one. Gotta go burn some bugs. Go burn out some nests. You know? Go kill some chaffinches. You know, just like, I felt that's the most accurate for it. You've got the other one, which is the one that everyone runs, like the bog standard Space Marine one, where you could pick a different tactic every turn. Like, is kind of representative of like the nature of how Deathwatch evolved. But I like the Salamanders one for just burning things. Just do that. Just set fire to everything all the time. Thank you, Carl of Hodgie.
Should we cancel Brom and just do this all night?
Yeah. Is it at the point they release... Is it at the point they release are so much so quick that quality is starting to slip?
Yes.
They're trying to service a lot of people at the same time.
It's ironic. They're trying to do loads, and yet we complain that the 40k Codex release is too slow.
Yeah, but the thing is though, we're in it, like, so 10 years ago you had New Age of Sigmar, you had Warhammer 40k, I think you had Kill Team at the time, and Blood Bowl had kind of just been brought back into things. There wasn't a vast amount of stuff going on. So they could at the time release 2 8th edition codexes a month. That was breakneck speed, that was, right? And that I felt like that was really good for the edition. Get everything out in a year. We've got 2 years of 8th edition. Unfortunately for 8th edition, COVID happened, which kind of sucked a bit.
COVID sucked a lot for a lot of people.
It sucks, yeah. But I think like 8th edition, like if they got stuff out at the speed 8th edition was heading in, I think the game now would be in a better place, because they're kind of like, as Liam likes to say, kind of course correcting the ship.
They are, yeah.
But they're course correcting based on half the knowledge.
Yes.
Right? All the choices they make currently for fixing the game are based on codexes that are out, not ones that are in the wings ready to come out. So,
and they often don't seem to have the foresight, despite the fact that they know what's coming out, to make an adjustment or a correction that will then head off. Like they're very much an oversteerer.
Yeah.
Right? They don't when they bring out a course correction, when they bring out an update to a game, and then 2 months later a codex comes out, and because of the recent update that becomes broken now, I'm like, you knew this was coming. You morons fucking wrote this book. So how did you not know this was coming?
Yeah, like Sisters. Like, how did you not know that this incredibly broken army was literally about to drop, and then have to change the points that you'd put into the back of the book? Mm-hmm. Right? It's kind of like trying to steer a ship based on the weather that you're experiencing at the time. You know, it's like, I've got the weather report on the channel. No, I should ignore it. Ignore what you can see on the television. We're just going to see what happens as it is now. The instructions for this model are terrible.
Oh, by the way, chat, the Working Lurking Crew t-shirts have been designed. Approved by Joe. I got him to approve them. So if you don't like this design, if these designs don't sell, I don't know what to do now.
No?
It's like my 4th cool design and hardly any of the t-shirts sell.
Which one was it?
The new one, the Working Lurking one we've got designed.
Yeah.
You've seen it, haven't you?
I have seen it. I love
approved
it. Yeah.
I got the artwork sent through by Scrivo, and I was like, he was like, happy? I was like, hang on, let me check with Joe.
Yeah. I said make the claws more pointy.
No, this is after. This is the finalised coloured version that I'm going to put on a t-shirt probably tomorrow or Monday.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Joe, look. I made 20 chain rasps.
Oh, nice. I like it. I've been talking too much. Thank you, Martin. I think they are simplifying Space Marines and focusing on supporting unique chapters with unique releases, e.g. Grey Knights have some unique units to update. I'd like to... I think the problem is also with Space Marines, there's almost too much, right? So you've got Grey Knights, you've got Deathwatch, you've got all the specialist chapters, and then you've got just generic Space Marines in the mix as well. So Space Marines as a faction are a nightmare army to balance. If you take Black Templars, for example. Right?
Black Templars!
Black Templars have got their own version of every Space Marine tank because they made the decision to put multi-melters on all Black Templar tanks, right? So that tank has to be more expensive. You have to pay a tax for an additional weapon, would you believe, right?
But isn't everything just the same now, points?
No.
Lol.
No. But by putting that multi-melter on a tank massively changes the damage output of a tank.
Having an extra gun makes it more efficient, who knew?
Yeah. And it makes some tanks that were not very efficient, very efficient. It makes things like impulsors actually good because now it's like basically a multi-melter Razorback.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is.
So it's actually worth taking. So like they've almost like by having too many options, they've actually made their jobs harder. Like this is how we say about like the Space Marine bike and the one with the little sidecar. You know, there's too many options. They need to cull it. I think with the new Grey Knights, the new Black Templar book, they get rid of multi-melters, which is going to suck balls. But I think for making their job their life easier in terms of balancing the game, they need to get rid of it.
Fun fact, I bet they don't.
Oh, they won't. God no.
But then the problem I think is solved legitimately when we go back to list composition.
Yeah.
Right? Why is it that, for example, Black Templars can take 3 of this with multi-melter and then 3 of this without multi-melter, so they can now take 6 of them.
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't be a thing.
No, and also you got to think like there needs to be more limits on what special Space Marines can take, right? So if you look at
Ginger Ninja exclamation mark match.
So Space Marines as a generic army can take intercessors, assault intercessors, heavy intercessors, right? As their core troops. But then if you look at Blood Angels can take Death Company on foot. They got 2 versions of intercessors on foot, basically. Because they've got assault intercessors, they've got Death Company assault intercessors, and they've just got straight up Death Company on foot. So they've got better variation. So it should to me, I think, like the Death Company intercessors go, and it just becomes Death Company.
Ones that can't hear.
They can't hear, but maybe they can't take heavy intercessors. You know? And then you take Space Wolves, which have Grey Hunters, something Claws.
Sky Claws, Blood Claws.
Sky Claws, Blood Claw. They've got way too many options. They can't take normal intercessors, you know? Because normal intercessors now become part of Grey Hunters. And then Black Templars can't take assault intercessors because they have Crusade squads. You know, by allowing them to have something new, you take away something.
Yep.
To balance it out.
Yep.
Which needs to come in.
100%.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
And then Sam Digger says, yay, my Blood Angels will be fucked too. Or ducked, as he says. But no, I think Blood Angels would be fine. Blood Angels currently went from D tier to S tier literally overnight. So that's good. Thank you, Sam Deacon, for 5 gifted memberships. My hope to you, Sam, is that we get a fancy Blood Angels box set.
Thank you so much for 5 gifted though, dude. What a legend.
We love you.
Gifteds are literally the best way of supporting us people. And we're over time now, and if you keep gifting, we'll keep going. Yeah. Right, I'm just saying.
Ada says, why have White Dwarf stopped doing short stories to fit in useless rules articles? You know, I don't know, because maybe they're like the least popular part of White Dwarf, maybe. Because they put random short stories up on Warcom, and I'm like, meh. I never read them. Never. Because it's like, we're trying to introduce a new character. Write a 1,000-word essay on this new character that's always existed. That hasn't, you know? I don't know, I feel like White Dwarf is probably struggling nowadays as well. Because it's like, just like print magazines are kind of dying out to things like Facebook, Twitter. Even like Warcom's a weird one based on the fact that you like, the limited amount of information they get, is it even worth it?
The thing is, I feel like short stories is a great use of something like White Dwarf, because ultimately, you know, if they put anything about a product out there, we're all very aware of the fact that it's essentially a marketing tool.
Yeah.
So by using it for short stories, we're like, well, it's just a short story. It's just a cool piece of narrative. Like, I feel like that's the right choice.
Yeah.
If I'm honest with you. I don't know. I'm quite jaded now with fucking things like Warcom.
I'm going to put this guy on a separate base.
Why?
Because I have to...
He stopped mid-sentence, that means he's concentrating.
Yeah. It's because I'm going to have to glue it. I have to paint this swirly thing with him inside it.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I might just airbrush the swirly thing and just cheat. Do a really easy job. I've used your super glue that you told me is great all the time and it's not sticking.
It's user error.
Yeah, that's it. That is it, people. Super glue, user error.
I've never had a problem with it, so it must be user error.
Right. Thank you, Jill, for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Jill. Love you.
I hope, Jill, that you are given a goldfish for Christmas. Like a really round one. It's like a golf ball with tiny little flippers on the side.
A really round one?
Yeah. They're the best kind of goldfish. Like the normal one's boring. Thank you, Schooner, for 5 gifted members.
Schooner.
Thank you, Schooner. I hope you get new Bone Reaper models.
Like what?
Like a new unit. I don't know. It's difficult to... Because the great thing about AOS, right, is that because it's all new, we can't guess what the new stuff's going to be.
Can we still class it as new when it's 9 years old?
Okay, right. So the background of the things are new, and then we have been introduced to new armies. 90% of the armies in AOS are new, that with not a vast amount of established lore, right? So they can go, here's a new unit, you know? Here's a new thing. Here's a thing that fills a hole that your army doesn't have.
But do we then run the risk in, say, another 10 years' time with immense amounts of bloat that we're suffering in 40k right now?
I don't know.
And then we end up with them having to remove units from the game because of the bloat. I mean, we've already seen it with Stormcast.
I think they can just add new factions instead, can't they? You know, or sub-factions
that doesn't stop rules bloat.
I don't know. Can I not just enjoy it now?
Yeah, you can.
Liam just doesn't like people enjoying a new thing.
No, absolutely. I love enjoying the new
He doesn't
thing.
like happiness.
I'm thoroughly enjoying the new thing myself right now. It concerns me when you're like, here's loads of new stuff. Like, cool, but what are we seeing over the course of the last couple of years from GW?
Well, so my theory at the moment is anything that existed in Old World, right, when the new books come out, is gone. I reckon it's going.
Yeah.
Right, so if you look at...
Which for us is fine, because we're not heavily invested right now, because we've just got started.
So if you're someone that plays Cities of Sigmar currently, if you're a legacy Cities of Sigmar player with loads of Dark Elves and dwarfs, and obviously the new Cities of Sigmar models, and you look at how AOS currently looks, they're very kind of streamlining armies, aren't they? Like, you don't need much to fit into an army, and you've got a couple character choices, a couple infantry choices, and then some other stuff. Whereas, like, I reckon the dwarves, because they've all disappeared from the Cities of Sigmar section of the website and gone over to Old World, I don't think they're going to be in the new book. I think what will probably happen is that when a Cities of Sigmar book comes out, the Dark Elves will disappear because we're still waiting on Malarian for the elves. So we'll actually get dark elves because you've got a couple kill teams already that exist in Underworlds and Warcry. I think we'll get the full fleshed out range. So they'll just go into like they'll just either go from the Games Workshop website, and Games Workshop won't support them anymore, like Last Chance to Buy, or they will just slip into Old World and they'll become a supported faction. I think the Soulblight Gravelords, things like the Graveguard will go, and we might get a new Graveguard kit, something like that. Maybe even new Dryads for tree people. You look confused.
Yeah, these are a bit fiddly.
The spirits.
Yeah, they're a bit fiddly.
The spirit hosts.
We'll be all right. I just got to let them dry.
They're hosting a party.
Hosting a party.
A tea party. Thank you, Bio Big Daddy. Any tips for getting your friends into tabletop wargaming? I feel I should introduce AOS with spearheads versus combat patrol due to awesome rules. So the best way you can do it is have 2 fully painted armies and a table's worth of terrain for the size that you're going for. Right, so if you want to get your friends into Spearhead, either get the Skaven Tide and paint up the box set, or get the Spearhead rules, the mats, and then 2 of your 2 Spearhead armies that you want to do. Build them and paint them. So when your friends, you go, let's play this game, you put it all out and you go, this is what to expect from Age of Sigmar Spearhead. 2 beautifully painted armies, we're going to play a game and we're going to have some fun. Have some beers, get some pretzel, eat some Doritos, get some hookers, do some blow. And then they'll be like, yes, this Warhammer stuff's great. Get rid of the models and it's exciting. I'm joking. Yeah, I'm obviously joking. Have 2 fully painted armies, have some terrain, and go, this is the best version of the game that you're going to play. Right? And then, if you turn around to someone and go, I've got an army, I've got terrain, spend money, and your friends will be like, I don't know, if I don't like it, I'm stuck with stuff. Whereas if you buy 2 armies that you know you want to do anyway, then you're not missing out. And if they decide not to play the game afterwards, then they're not losing out either. That's the best way to do it. Thank you, Mike the Rhino. He's a big boy, isn't he? In the thumbnail.
He's called himself a rhino.
Yeah. He's a juicy boy.
He's a juicy boy.
Glad Liam is taking it Nighthaunt. Now we can compare the army list instead of dropping trowel and comparing army weapons. Thane incoming in a week. The Rhino's going to be in.
Yeah, he wants to come and be a Thane, which is the right life choice.
It is the right life choice. It's so exciting in there. It's not because the Nighthaunt got really good start of AOS.
It without doubt looks like that.
Yeah, it does look like they've announced all the winning numbers from all the tournaments in the last 2 weeks, and Nighthaunt just seemed to have the best win ratio.
It helps that I did message Joe yesterday about Nighthaunt, and he was like, yeah, do it, and then the numbers came out today.
It needs to be said that all the AOS stuff that Liam's building currently and the stuff I'm building is stuff that we've had on a shelf for a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we did it before it was cool.
Ah, okay.
The instructions aren't very good at showing you, are they?
No.
But you got there. Thank you, Rufus. Boob Cam is back.
It was.
I love Boob.
There you go.
Thank you, Sam Deacon. Numbers, what's the best stream income in July? Horus Heresy?
I don't know. It might be Heresy, but that wouldn't have been because Heresy. That would be because John.
Yeah, because people just love John, because he is...
A baller. Hashtag baller.
Yeah, AOS numbers are doing mad good. Maybe because it's new, but also because it's different, exciting. It might be because we've got personality. You know, who knows nowadays? But
those cat talents are out.
I'm really hungry. The hunger is reaching me. I ate a protein bar in the car on the way here, and that's all I've had today. Thank you, Lehman Russ. Will the Dempsey team help me write a list for World Eaters for the Hellstorm event? 60 Berserkers. Done. Lehman Russ, are you going to go and win the event? Realistically.
This is fucking
Right,
horrendous.
I think if you're not going to go and win the event, right? Just take what you like. Just have fun, you know. I looked at a list which was 30 Berserkers and 3 Land Raiders. It won't work. It'll be terrible, but it'll be fun. You know, that's what you want. Just have the fun. That's just Mike is juicy. We want all the tasteful black and white nudes, please, when you join. Thank you, Rufus.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw that was happening last night.
Yes, you did watch the stream.
I did actually, yeah. You don't think it, but I'm always there, watching, lurking.
That's a lie.
And sometimes they're going, loo. Thank you, Sam Deacon. So my AOS faction will be gone in the next edition too. What, Beastmen? That's the only faction that's not going to be...
I think it was a joke.
Oh.
I think it was a joke, Joe. I think he was being serious. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
How many total members did we get, Joe? We've got 5 to say.
Kev Thacker.
Thank you for 5.
Gifted 5. I hope, Kev, that you... Next time you go to the shop, sometimes like in the corner shops, they have Krispy Kreme. And what's the other one? Dunkin' Donuts, you know? I hope they're like half price. We've got Dunkin' Donuts display in my local Spar, and no one ever buys them at full price. They literally the shelves sit full for like a week, and then they go out of date, or they're going out of date soon. Half price, disappear immediately.
It literally doesn't fit.
We have got 5,
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
11, 12. One of those upgrades. So 10, 15, 20, 21, 26, 31, 36, 41.
41.
41.
Less than 50.
42. Thank you, Big Daddy, for gifted membership.
Less than 50.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe you're just not entertaining enough
I don't think I am.
to the 187 people that are watching. We've got 187 likes. Got 153. 154. I liked it. Is it the same when you like your own stream?
No.
No?
It's like tasting your own product, Joe.
What if you make ice cream? Just eat all the ice cream all the time. When I used to work in pub kitchens, as a server, I'd like always take a chip off the plate and then take it out.
42.
Mainly because I was poor and I couldn't afford to buy food.
Yeah.
It's the same now. It's not changed.
That's us now.
Yeah. But we've got a stream tonight. Me and Brom will bring in the numbers. I mean, I will. Brom will just be cheaty.
Brom will just be cheaty.
Yeah. Brom will be like, what's the best? I only do this now. Thank you, Rolfus. It says, I hope Joe gets a nice meal and a reach around from Liam with a lovely kiss on his neck.
Can't afford it with this membership numbers, Rolfus. Thanks for the 5.
On the back of the neck. Like a little dart tongue. Like when I wake up in the morning and I yawn and my dog's like right in my mouth.
Like how you ate your ice cream.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I like it when I go to kiss my dog on the nose. It's like dart tongue. Bloop.
I think the engagement on the stream with the 40k title answers the question. Maybe. Is there an affiliate link for Baron? ! Dice, Paul Jones. Thank you, Tank the Unknowing, for the 1 gifted membership. 43. 43, Joe. We might get to 50 after all.
Thank you. Well, we're
only 39 minutes over schedule.
over. But it's because we keep building toys. I feel like the thing is these streams last longer because we're building models at the same time.
Just fucking flat enjoying myself.
Yeah. What we're doing is these streams are essentially us doing things that we need to do and passing it off as content.
That's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. I need to get work done, so I'll just do work and we'll just say that we're doing it for a reason. What factions are we running tonight, says Finn. I will be running the Black Legion and Brom are bringing Ultramarines after we berated him when he said that he was going to bring Custodes.
Facts.
Because he was like, I might bring Custodes. I was like, what, now because they're good? Well, I didn't say that. Liam did.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
We called him out. He was like, I've always played Custodes. And we're like, no.
You played Custodes when they were good, you dropped them when they were bad, and now you want to play them because they're good again.
Yeah. Yeah. So now he's back on it with the Ultramarine. So I thought we'll do a cool boarding action style game that's not boarding actions, because boarding actions is not great. Thank you, Maxwell Martin. It says, do you gents think you'll be adding Imperial agents soup to night games? Lots of new options on the horizon. I'm sorely tempted to paint up a Black Star.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'd arguably yes, because the idea to add in things like Assassins to Knights games fills little points holes that can be created when you build a Knights army.
I think the potential to fill some gaps that are needed in some armies would be cool.
But the Imperial Agents Codex is not something that inspires me. And when I had briefed Joe to do loads of AOS stuff, that hasn't changed with Imperial Agents being on the horizon. I still want to just add AOS stuff because I'm not bothered about Imperial Agents at all at the moment. Actually, to be honest with you, considering the stream title, it's a wider 40k based problem for me personally. I could get Joe and I could have Joe and I putting a load of time and effort at the moment into expanding our iOS factions, of which we don't have loads, so that we can continue to bring variety, considering at the moment, in terms of the team, Joe and I are the only two people right now that play iOS. So we need the variety to be able to try and keep you entertained. I feel like the armies are easy enough-ish to pick up and play semi-competently. To master them is significantly harder and you need more game time, but you guys will learn that along with us.
Yeah.
And we both are currently really into AOS. We both keep fucking just literally messaging each other going, I fucking love new AOS.
Yeah.
And when we talk about 40k, we think about 40k streams, the passion is less present. That's not saying that there isn't a passion there. We still love 40k. Specifically, if you talk to Joe, if you spend 5 minutes talking to Joe about the narrative of Warhammer 40k, he can actually talk to you for hours, not 5 minutes about it. The passion still exists, but the game lacks flavour and excitement as far as I'm concerned. So I could pivot into prepping more 40k stuff. If GW messaged us and said, here's a new Blood Angels Codex, I'm saying this because I think it's been rumoured quite heavily, but if there's a new Blood Angels Codex, like, here's a bunch of new units, of course I'd be like, Joe, add all this to your Flesh Terrors.
Yeah.
Because it's an easy win there and it's cool and we love 40k. But otherwise, for things I'm not that excited about, at the moment, Games Workshop I think are going to struggle to get me excited about Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
I'm playing it because I get to play with cool people, but I'm struggling to be excited about it right now. Is the best way I can kind of explain that, I think. But thanks for the 5, dude. Anyway, I love you.
Thank you. That'll be a long time.
We're still on 43 members, chat. Joe's going to have to sit here until we get to 100. It's just a fact. I'll go for some food.
Oh. What are you having?
Five Guys. I think that's what we're going to eat today.
Yeah. I've never sat in them. Oh, no, that's a lie. I sat in the Five Guys in...
Do you want to go out? Because if we're going to go out, we'll have to turn this off pretty quickly.
No,
I'm happy. I'd rather go out.
We can get a man on a bicycle to ride in the rain.
I'd rather go out. It depends on how quickly you can turn the table around.
I don't know. This one with no terrain on it. That'd be all right. Just push it. Just put my belly up against it and whoop.
Don't do that because then it'll be out of position for the camera.
Yeah. I know. I think I've got to set up a fancy table for tonight.
So that
I promised them fancy. Thank you, Brandon. Says I'm enjoying the idea of running a big brick of Grey Knight Terminators in my sister's army.
Yeah, that sounds cool, right? That's where these Codex has a couple of its rare wins. If you are a non-Deathwatch player, if you are a normal Imperium player who's playing even Space Marines, just standard Space Marines can take a unit of Grey Knight Terminators. That's cool. That's narrative. That's fun. Sisters players can take them. Guard players could include some Space Marines in their army. Like, they're all cool things.
Yeah, I think like being able to run a unit of Deathwatch in my Guard is cool because I don't really like Bullgrin, and they can fill the same kind of gap as Bullgrin, you know?
Do they?
Yeah, just a tough unit that just goes around boshing stuff on
The thing is, in 40k now, I wouldn't know if I'd call a unit of Space Marines tough. Like, if you were the Grey Knight Terminators, if they are...
They're tougher than Guardsmen.
True, yeah, but if you take into consideration, you could take Grey Knight Terminators, and let's assume that they're toughness 5, and they're Grey Knights rather than normal Terminators. They might be 2 wounds, they could be 3 wounds. Like, there's a cool tough unit that's better than Bullgrin, I reckon. Sam, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Yay! That's 48, Joe.
I hope, Sam, that someone buys you 5 guys.
I hope your next AOS army isn't invalidated immediately.
Yeah. I hope your next AOS army is 5 guys.
I hope that we don't start watching what Sam's getting, so we know what's going to get nerfed next.
Yeah, I think the idea for the from what's being said about agents is that I feel like it's going to really invigorate the fluff bunnies amongst us, you know. But also, it might be people that are like, I've always wanted to do this army, but I can't bother to do a whole army of it.
These are fucking horrific to put together.
You won't have more than 3 in your army, I'm guessing, at this rate.
No.
Yeah.
I really want the revamped Artemis model, and I do want the new thick boy. Ugh. Bye, Big Daddy. You were cool until then.
Yeah. New Cotiers makes me sad. Thank you, Dag Skimmy, for non-gifted membership. My issue with the new Cotiers model is that it looks nothing like Cotiers. Because like I've been around in this hobby for a very long time, old as time itself. I've been in and around since 2nd edition, right? But the prime time of my life as a child growing up was during the 13th Black Crusade, you know, and that's when they had Inquisitorial Stormtroopers and Cotiers turned up, and that model has gone unchanged since my childhood, and it's the imagery and the artwork they've done for it, and the model itself is kind of ingrained in my brain as a historical part of all Warhammer. And then the new version of Cotiers is when they remade Thundercats. You know, we've taken this cool nitty-gritty kind of cartoon for kids and turned it into a cartoon for kids.
It's no longer nitty-gritty.
Yeah, it's like why? It's like why are there like mouths shaped like beans? No, why has he got big eyes like a cat? You know, why has he got hair?
Why does he exist?
Yeah, it just makes me sad.
Do you want me to end the stream, Joe? Is that what you're hoping for? These little super chirps keep popping up. That's the problem.
I know. Don't you hate it when people keep giving you money? Thank you, Simon. No, I've got Brian and Sam mixed up there. Thank you, Sam, Deacon, for 5 gifted memberships. I hope, Sam.
You did that one, didn't you?
Have I? Thank you, Brian, for 1.
He's got himself all confused, chat, now.
Yeah. I was so emotionally bent out of shape thinking about Cotiers.
I can't stand that new model. It's so bad. It's almost Desolation Marines all over again. Someone in the QC department of Games Workshop isn't doing their job properly.
Anime Thundercats. Evan, look up the difference between Thundercats and Thundercats Raw.
That sounds like it's not something I want to Google.
As in RAWR. Rawr! It's a good cartoon. I watched all of it. But the difference is quite astounding.
I don't think it is a good cartoon.
It's a great cartoon.
Great in cartoon is
Although what they did to Lino,
I don't know who you're talking about.
he had a great decrease in IQ. But no, yeah, I just feel like the new Cotiers was definitely given to an intern.
It's bad, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like, the thing is, I feel like Inquisitors kind of get a bit of a rough spot anyway in the game, in general.
Why?
Because I feel like they're an integral part of the lore that Games Workshop can't get right.
Agree.
To the point where like Inquisitors have always just been like, put him in, make a unit broken.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah. So back in the day, Cotex, you'd put him in a unit, and he'd allow that unit to Overwatch for free, like, but with like extra long range of like a unit deep strike within 12. It's like Overwatch. And then like currently, the lady with the little dragon.
Draxia, whatever her name is.
Yeah, it's like, put her in a unit of custodian guard, shoot twice, yay! I'm like, oh. Like, she's not running around doing Inquisitor shit, she's just making a unit slightly better. Or people are just abusing her role to make her better through custodian guard.
That's characters in general in 40k nowadays.
Assassins have always done really well, but Inquisitors have always just really, like, missed out. You know, I feel like Inquisitors should kind of do what some of the assassin buffs should do. So like some Inquisitors should do what the Caladius does, which is like reduce your ability to do stratagems.
In like 7th edition, didn't Inquisitors give you the ability to do like orbital bombardment?
Yeah, you'd be able to do orbital bombardment, or they'd affect your seize the initiative roll on like who went first and stuff.
It's almost like when the rule set was slightly more complicated, you had more fucking tools to make things interesting and fun.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially. I'm almost done, Joe. I'm almost done this spirit.
Done. I was
like, I'll just bash out these 3 spirits, and now I've done one of them. I'm like, I'll bash out this one
Inquisitors
spirit.
should be able to like affect your secondaries, like your card picks and pulls. So you have more manipulation of your deck of cards or something. Just like I feel like an Inquisitor should do smart things on the table instead of just go around like bonk, 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 bonk. I've killed some Xenos. I'm being narrative. It's like my narrative for Tyranids. You know, my narrative here. Because food, yum. Like, these guys are on a planet and they're trying to fix this building. Now, what's the narrative? Tyranids turn up. Yum.
I mean, it is a narrative. That is a narrative.
Yeah.
You say thank you for the other super chats that have come in, Jay.
Thank you, Evan Timmerman. Best Thundercat and why? Joe. Liam 2.
Well, I can't answer. I've never seen it.
I like Snarf. The weird little cat thing that they have running around. I watched it all when it came out and I immediately forgot all about it. The big guy, the tech with the Bolas, he's cool. Like him. I never really got into Thundercats though. Like as a kid. I was always about Biker Mice from Mars and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
This is weird. There's a. What bit's touching?
What bit is touching, officer?
There, like that. That's how that goes.
Oh, Hector Rex. Matty says Hector Rex was a great one. I just listened to The Siege of Rax, and Hector Rex is an absolute baller. Thank you, Sam Deacon. Was gifting in 5s for the D20.
We don't have a dice box right now.
We do have a dice box. Liam took it away.
We can have a dice box tonight.
Yeah.
We have to go hard tonight now because it's been a lackluster Liam and Joe show.
I thought we had a great Liam in there.
It's been a fucking incredible chat.
It's been a great chat.
Right, I'm doing one. I'm doing one spirit. I wasn't going to I bashed the 3 spirits like they look easy. They're not easy. I did one spirit like that. They're a cool model, not easy.
I tell you what, if you want to get into painting a really easy army, Nighthawk is the way to go. You know, it's a great contrast army and it's a great airbrush army.
Yeah. Right, we are well over. Like an hour again. We've done like 2.5 hours Liam and Joe show because we're hobby streaming instead.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Thank you, wonderful people, for hanging out with us today. I hope you've enjoyed the chat. If you've got things that you want to say or mention in reference to what we've been talking about, and we've not managed to read it or speak about it, then please make sure you stick it in the comment section below after the fact. We do read all of them. You people are incredible, though. Thank you so much. Tonight at 7:30, we've got a live game of Warhammer 40k. We'll make it exciting because it's Brom and Joe. So Joe will make it exciting.
And probably make it boring.
We play Ultramarines versus
Black Legion.
Black Legion. Exciting.
Yeah. In space.
Yeah, space battles in space.
Yeah.
Cool. You people are amazing. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you
in
the next one.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.